here we are, folks.
We have one person watching. Hello.
One person.
Hello.
Hey,
You haven't identified yourself yet.
One person beats none, doesn't it? Well, if that person...
It's like Frosty in Frosty Returns. One's a lot different than none, kid.
Yeah, you know?
Hi, Satellite.
So
Good
true.
to see you.
Well,
and
hello.
Mom, hello. Thank you.
Velveteen birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, my birthday's actually tomorrow, but
Yeah,
since it's a Monday, we're doing this today.
And celebrate Glennie's birthday today.
No, Glendora's birthday's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Oh, this is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Otherwise that wouldn't work. So, but here we are.
Here we are.
But there we are. Published by Milo.
And it's brunch. You know what that means.
Bubbles! Sorry, I should have taken that cue and picked that up.
I know. Hi, Michelle. Oh, thank
Hey.
you. Thank you. Happy birthday in advance. Thank you so much.
Thank you indeed.
I'm glad you're here.
If anybody's coming from other coast, it's still
Oh,
morning
we have one
to you.
person watching on YouTube.
So, good
Hello,
morning.
YouTube person.
Good morning and good afternoon. If you're watching from down under, good evening or good tomorrow by now. Come to think of it.
Good morrow.
Good morrow. Depends on where you are. I mean, there is literally 4 time zones happening in that continent. You could be Perth, you could be Sydney. These are thousands of miles away, folks.
Indeed.
We do understand the geography of the whole thing.
Hi, Julie. Thank you
Hello.
so much.
Great birthday,
Good to see you.
Hooray! Well, we got the bubbles.
I think it might be time to pop those
We got the bubbles. We got the nibbles.
We got donut holes.
We got donut holes. We have conversation hearts.
I don't think we have any actual food here that isn't pure sugar, but...
Well, I guess it's that kind of a... isn't that kind of a Valentine's Day
exactly.
special right there now, isn't it?
Exactly.
So shucks.
All right. I think it's time for a drink, don't you?
Everyone thinks so, right?
Well, that's what brunch is, after all. People are like, oh no, brunch. It's a portmanteau of breakfast and lunch. It's like, now it's late breakfast with booze. That's
yes,
what brunch is.
That's
so
exactly what that is.
I think it's time that we indulge. Well, so which one do you want? Do you want the...
I think you need pink.
Okay.
You got to think pink.
Well, we both...
That's what I think.
We're both fairly pink today.
Pretty pink today, so I mean, but that is actually coordinating with more than one color in my shirt here.
Well,
so.
yes,
So there we go.
Also...
I
always coordinate my glassware to my
also
clothes.
highly coordinated. Actually, we could both take either. So what the heck?
See?
Hey.
How well we planned that.
See what happened there?
Hi, Pepper Tree, and hello, Eric. Good to see you both.
What a lovely
all right.
sound.
YouTube is catching on here. Yay.
There we go.
Awesome.
By the time YouTube caught on.
What are we going to do? Are we doing...
This is true. What do you want?
Are we going to do mimosas first, or are we going to do a champagne cocktail first?
Your choice. What do you like? It seems mimosa first. Am I wrong?
No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do we didn't have any creme de cassis,
cordial
so
cocktail.
I'm going to do a Key Royale-like beverage.
There we go.
Using sour cherry liqueur. What else?
You could cure me too.
So, I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to pour a little bit in the bottom of my...
Not exactly a measure type of
Here we go.
drink. But if you're saying to yourself, yeah, but how much is that anyway? Oh, maybe half an ounce.
Yeah, there we go.
That's probably even less than
now
it's
you
enough
can top
to give
me.
it a little flavor.
You know what I should have brought?
What should you have brought?
A napkin.
Oh, well, I can,
It's sticky already.
We're already sticky.
We're not even 5 minutes in and I'm already sticky.
At the bar top, we'd be stickier. So there we go.
True.
Big fun coming through for you.
Thank you.
And for me. And this is just going to add a little color and, a little cherry flavor to the whole proceedings.
Well, we've got the pink cava there.
And as you can see,
blush.
We're starting pink, so that's a good place to be, isn't it?
Rosé, I should say. The rosé cava.
Rosé cava. And I'm prosit to you.
Cheers. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
And all of you watching, yep.
We have Love Boat on the TV.
So much better.
In front of us.
Because, love.
Oh, Eric says, I know you're having brunch. Well, we're having like the all-sugar brunch.
Yeah.
The weather's making
me
fix my favorite winter lunch combo, which is grilled cheese sandwich and soup. That's great. I had a grilled cheese the other day.
That's no idea, frankly.
It was everything I hoped. Hello, Jenlyn. Good to see you. Yeah,
cork.
I suppose if we poured more carefully, you could float the bubbles on top of this for a Pousse Cafe.
A Pousse?
Mm-hmm.
We could try that. Now, one thing about that is that the color of the sour cherry is very similar to the color of the bubbles.
True.
So the contrast would not be so great.
Or you could do a...
two different colors.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sticky.
Be right back.
I'm like getting the computer sticky now.
You know something? I'm also noting that right in front of me it's
wipe.
a little damp. So I'm going to move the bubbles.
Here I thought I'd remembered everything today, but alas, no.
You always forget something,
alas,
folks.
No.
Hell, I can take away the garbage.
Thank you. Yeah, this is already, the mouse is already sticky.
Ah, no.
So does anyone have Valentine's Day plans? Anything fun? And I don't mean if you have a partner. If you do, great. If you don't, fantastic. You might still have fun plans. So if you do, I would like to hear about them. I like to think everyone's celebrating my birthday. Monday this year, which is a little, I feel like for a few years now, it's been,
for your fingers.
Thank you. Oh. I'm more concerned about the mouse than my fingers. Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, Gettysburg, ma'am. Good to see you. Yeah, I was, for a few years there, it was either on a Friday or a weekend, but we're back to Monday. It's okay. But yeah, if you, I know. I remember Jen commenting Poos Cafe. One of these days we'll have to do one. We have in the past, but they always end up looking better than they taste, if you know what I mean. They're very beautiful. Oh, Pepper Tree says, I wish our weather was cooler and drearier today. It's bright and sunny and 75. Oh. Hi, Street Story. It's good to see you. Eric is saying a little snow there. Yeah, it snowed here this morning, too.
We had something on the order of maybe an inch and a half. Very fluffy, easy to shove out of the way. And I actually did a good deed. When we came back from Atlanta, I think we had probably 4 or 5 inches worth of stuff. That would have been a real pain in the neck. My neighbor sends me a picture of a clear driveway. I'm like, now here's a man with a snowblower, right? Well, he decided to use it. So I saw their recycle bin in the street. She says, you should put that up. I'm like, yeah, I should. And then I said, I should shovel the driveway. So I did.
Did you? Oh, thank you.
10 minutes of work. That just builds community right there.
Yeah, Gettysburg, man, got a dusting of snow. Oh, thank you so much, Marcy. I want to go to Bamboo Club. That sounds great.
Bamboo Club sounds like lots of fun.
I know.
I have a ball myself. Having a ball. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So Pepper Tree, yeah. Her birthday's on the 14th too. Oh, yeah, fun.
How about?
Oh, sharing it with her on your live show tonight. Oh, tomorrow night. Oh, okay, great. I love it.
Very good.
I was hoping to not work at all on my birthday, but it turns out I would probably be doing a little bit of work. But it's fun work. So
it's work for you.
So it's fine.
Working for yourself is a different sort of thing. For one thing, your boss is a real jerk. Jeez.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks a lot. I'm just talking about you work for yourself, and yourself is just like, whoosh, crack that whip. Harder.
Hi, Johnny. Oh, Vanessa's birthday's the 16th. That was my great-grandfather's birthday.
How about that?
So happy birthday, Vanessa.
I tell you, we got a lot of birthdays happening right around this time. I don't know what that means. I guess that just means it's the season of love. And,
Eric, that sounds great. You'll drop the link to your Instagram so
please.
People can see it.
Drop it in, folks. So let's see. Oh, excellent. Very good.
That sounds great.
I'm suddenly really thirsty. Well,
I'm suddenly really thirsty. Glug.
Glug. I was like, I came in after shoveling it. I'm like, that wasn't that hard, but I guess it was enough effort, Had to go out for orange juice and picked up a few items here. We have some later arrivals. Got the conversation hearts.
I saw those there the other day.
Hello. I don't even like them that much, but you kind of got to buy them.
You got to have them.
You kind of got to have them. Right, there's just, and then of course you can get them with custom designs and things. It'd be great if you could just get something with a little printer and just stamp it yourself with some edible ink.
Well, it's funny because the messages have changed. Like, okay, these are pretty classic, I guess.
Wink, wink, be mine.
But you can, I know that now they
bestie.
say, text me. Okay, bestie.
Bestie sounds pretty contemporary.
Text me.
Hashtag V-Day, that kind of stuff. V-Day.
Happy birthday in advance, Eric.
It says hashtag VD. What? Oh, Valentine's Day. Oh, okay. Anyway, just having a little fun, folks.
We sound like we've had a lot more to drink than we have.
I have had exactly that much.
I know.
So far. So if I'm sailing on that, now I'm a pretty cheap date.
Loopy. You sound loopy.
Well, Loopy's not here. He's in another county. So, although we saw him recently, as a matter of fact. He was looking well. Nice shoes.
Nice shoes.
Nice shoes. Didn't he have like two different like style?
No, I don't even know how many.
One style of shoe with like 2 or 3 different colors. The man was coordinated.
He had more shoes than I had.
I kind of had like 2 pairs of sneakers, and that's okay. It was appropriate for the time, and it
Hi, Kelly.
So
happy Valentine's Day to you.
Alpha,
good to see you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the dusting.
Aloha.
Oh yeah. Autocorrect.
But good to see you.
Autocorrect is wonderful, isn't it? Alpha. It's okay. I don't know what it thinks, and neither does anybody. But fun stuff, folks.
Well, autocorrect is weird because it corrects things that are words.
Yeah.
Like that's a word.
It's a real word.
And you changed it to something that makes no sense.
What? And then I'll type something that's just completely off, and there's no correction suggested. I think, what good are you? What in the world good are you?
Did you turn off autocorrect?
I tried and I failed. So I'm still being autocorrected.
I thought you turned it off.
I mean, the simple fact is I have a couple of peculiar misspellings that I use with regularity because they're fun. It's not like I don't know how to spell the Queen's English. I do. I'm not going to win any spelling bees because I don't know anything really obscure, but I hold my own.
Oh, Gettysburg Ma'am says they're grilling in the snow for the Super Bowl.
Hey!
Oh, that's great.
That's the spirit. I really got to appreciate folks like you. I grilled in the snow recently, I guess, after the big one. I dug out and fired up the gas.
WW2.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I had a whole World War happening in the backyard there. It was just that amount of effort to get through the snow. And something, the gas gauge is like down, 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 and I just keep grilling for hours. I'm like, well, I guess that gauge is slightly inaccurate, folks. But we're getting great results. I got to say, I've been very happy with having like a really high quality grill. So I hope you do too. And I've been very happy with having the flat grill, the flat griddle or plancha. Has been great. I make fries on that, and then you throw a couple of burger patties, and away you go. There you go.
Although I have to say, lately you've been all about the air fryer.
Well, the simple fact is it's very simple, and in 10 minutes or 10 or 12 minutes, you've got the same fries. So I'm like, actually, that's a net energy cost that's less. So hex, during the summer, and certainly temperate enough, I will typically be outside there with a spatula in hand because I got it at Spatula City. And
if you get that reference, let us know.
There you go. And during the winter, I frequently say, hell, I'm going out there anyway. And it would have to be like really freeze your cojones off for me to not want to go out there. And even then, I might just fire up the chimney, which I did the other day. And that was a good idea. Burn off some brush, warm yourself up.
Eric says, I hate when autocorrect changes the word girlfriends to girlfriends, making me sound like I have a harem.
Some guys would be like, "Hey," and I think, "Yeah, no." That
could get you into trouble.
That can get you into trouble there, And the simple fact is, that sounds like a lot of trouble. So.
Oh, okay, Gettysburg Man. I was talking about the air fryer. Yeah. They're gonna have wings in it for the game and burger on the grill.
Burger on the grill.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
We were trying to cook something very quickly the other day and happened to have a package of chicken thighs, and I thought, there's got to be a formula or a recipe for doing the chicken thighs in the air fryer. Yeah. It was like, 17 minutes at these many degrees. Preheat it, throw it in, and pretty much, I put a bunch of like dry rub on it.
Those were great.
Those are awesome. They were totally cooked. I took the thermometer and said, where are we? We're well in excess of well done. And they were delicious.
We have some veggie burgers we could have.
This is true.
I wasn't even thinking burgers later, but we could do veggie burgers. We also have
plenty of buns.
I did black bean balls for happy hour. Little black bean ball appetizers in the air fryer. They were really good.
They were really good, and that was really simple. And it was like the standard sort of like give it a spritz with the canola spray and 30 balls in. And then just 30 balls in, and what was
Toss your balls in the air fryer.
Toss your balls in the air fryer. Whoa! And that was what, about 10 minutes? There's nothing.
I think we did 12.
Maybe it was 12.
12.
And I got to say, been having a really good time.
It was going off the recommended time for mac and cheese balls.
Oh, yeah.
There was no, I didn't use a recipe, so.
Yeah.
I estimated, and it worked.
Gotcha.
Woohoo.
Absolutely. So.
Oh, yeah, Eric, I love it. I love the air fryer. I put the one, just to show for a minute, I put the one that we bought in our Amazon shop, which you'll see right at the bottom of your screen.
I was about to say, I don't mean to shill, but actually, I do. Come to think of it,
totally mean to shill.
If you are interested in such a device, and you decided to actually purchase such a device, if you would be so kind as to go to our Amazon shop and purchase it through there, you don't pay any more. I don't, there's no, like, finder's fee for me or for us, but we get a certain cut of that from Amazon.
That's right.
So that's one way to go, If you happen to like Amazon. If you don't, hey, that's the thing. You can always take a look at the model, and if you can find a better price elsewhere or whatever, go to town. It's what is the model on that? Dash.
That's the brand.
The brand is Dash, yeah.
Dash.
So we've actually got one of those, and we've got, what else from Dash? A waffle iron.
Waffle iron,
which
too.
I'm very happy with. So I'm kind of recommending the brand, too. They have a lot of appliances, these little desktop things. And, you could buy 100 appliances to make food, and at the end of the day, do you really need more than a hot plate?
I'd never heard of them before the waffle iron, but yeah. But yeah, it's great.
I would say, those two do very different things and they do them well. Like, this is not going to make waffles. Oh, they could probably
definitely worth the investment.
Yeah.
Gettysburg Map, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I forgot to put on earrings.
Oh, you feel so naked.
Gettysburg Map made me think, oh my God, my earrings. I forgot.
Oh, my earrings.
I forgot to put on earrings.
Would you like to repair?
No, I'm okay.
No, okay. Well, there we go.
My ears are just naked.
As far as appliances, which we use with regularity, the Instant Pot actually has been very good for a couple of specific things. Having a pressure cooker is great if you say use dried beans, because I think otherwise it's just a long, lengthy process. But the pressure, well, like 90 minutes, you get beans ready to go. Finish your chili. And there you go. You can finish your chili in the Instant Pot. Just throw everything together the way you go. You can start by sauteing and then keep going. So that's been very good for that. This does different things because this is all about crispy. You want to do fries, that's not going to happen in the Instant Pot. You can do baked potatoes. It's like 8 minutes or something. It's pretty quick on pressure.
Yeah.
But, hey, fries are fries. People love fries. And you could say, I'm not going to cut up potatoes. You could use frozen fries, but cutting up a potato isn't much. And put it in there. It's like tablespoon of oil, bang, there you go. Real easy, and they're so good.
Oh yeah, I love the Instant Pot for I love it for a lot of things, but I always do my hard-boiled eggs in it because it's so easy and they're perfect every time. So
they peel better than any method I've ever seen. So basically, you're steaming the eggs.
Yeah.
If you had a steamer, it should do the same. You could always put a colander in a pan on the stove or whatnot, and put a cover on that. Yeah, sure, absolutely. This is easier, and it's very happy. And at the end of the day, you're like, oh, these are perfect eggs. They peel so well.
Yeah,
ready to go. So that's pretty happy. And what else goes in there? We made yogurt once. It worked really well. It really did exactly what it was supposed to.
Over 24 hours.
It takes easily a day and a half to make the yogurt. You're putting on a very low heat for a long time.
And it made a ton.
It made a lot of
yogurt.
So if you're into like making your own materials, you brew beer, you make wine, that kind of stuff, make yogurt. It's easy. It's not that much. Some people do it just in an oven with the pilot light on. It's that much heat is enough to get the bacteria going.
Hi, Amy. Thank you.
But that one will do it. I'm not sure we're going to do it again anytime soon. But we're definitely going to rehydrate beans. We're going to do the eggs. We're going to pressure cook a bunch of stuff, and it's a slow cooker too.
Well, so. I mean, we wanted to try it, and it was fun. It came out well. So it's like, hey, I made yogurt, but it's like we ended up with like 4 or 5 huge tubs of the stuff.
I had to freeze some.
Yeah, I don't, and which didn't work, by the way.
That didn't work so well.
So yeah, it was.
So if you want to give it away and you happen to have a surplus of milk, then you can make yogurt pretty easily.
Sherry says, my sister calls her pressure cooker a slow cooker for those with ADHD. Don't have to think that far ahead. Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
And I have a slow cooker, and I don't love the Instant Pot as a slow cooker. You can do it. It definitely works, but I guess I'm just so used to my crock pot.
Yep.
But
had a crock pot for years.
Oh, can you dehydrate in the Instant Pot? I've never tried. That's a good question.
I'm not sure, but I bet you can dehydrate.
Apparently you can in the air fryer.
I bet you could in the air fryer.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what that is. It's a convection oven. And if you take a look at it, the construction of that is awfully similar to a dehydrator. Dehydrator is just is heat throws in a fan. Well, that's what this is. So I suspect that this would work. You might have to prop things up a certain way, but somebody's already tried it. So just take a look on the internet and bang. And that's a good thing to think of. Like if we had sometimes we end up with a surplus of pineapple. And I think, well, it's either going to get moldy in your fridge, or you're going to have a hell of a lot of tiki drinks, or dehydrate it. And then it'll last for some time. That's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
Great idea. Yeah. Apple slices,
Oh, okay. She did orange slices in the air fryer over the holidays. I want to try that.
There we go.
I want to do that.
Actually, those orange wheels, a couple of years ago, that was the in thing with cocktails.
Oh, Eric made round steak with the pressure cooker.
Float the orange wheel, a dehydrated blood orange wheel on top of your cocktail. Well, that's actually, pretty fun. It's a good idea. Mm-hmm. And then it sort of rehydrates along the way, and of course it's edible. So
exactly.
There we go.
Yeah, Eric did round steak in the
round steak
pressure cooker.
That should be totally possible. That's like a classic formula, I think. And a roast is you could do that in the pressure easily if you like that big pot roast kind of thing. Some people think pot roasting like, oh, geez, Sunday morning. Well, I remember we have a friend who says, my mother made it. It was always dry. And I think, well, you need to use a lot of fluid. I recommend like a couple of beers in with that would probably do a lot of good. At the end of the day, it's just a big chunk of meat. If you're watching and you're like, well, I'm vegan, you can make a lot of vegan things with these devices. We did the buffalo cauliflower.
Oh, yeah, we should do that tonight.
Because we happen to have the cauliflower.
We have a cauliflower we need to use.
And that was a formula which I think was in the book that came with the device. And that was really, really good. Cauliflower, I think, is probably best roasted.
Yeah.
I think if it's a little drier than if you boil it, it's a good idea. I've seen people rice it, and I've seen people mash it. I'm not fond of it mashed. It really starts to emphasize those particular aromas in the cauliflower because it's an allium, and I'm not that heavy about that. It's kind of like if you overcook the broccoli, wow, bad news. And that was my youth with broccoli, was overcooked broccoli, so I really hated it for years. And then finally, it's like, oh no, you just blanch it, get it like bright green, and you're done. And that was like, that's it.
Lovely conversation about overcooked vegetables.
Overcooked food. Wasn't that the deal? Like everybody's grandparents were slaughtering the vegetables because you needed to cook them until they were done. Yeah, and you cooked away a lot of the vitamin content, I think.
I think I want a truffle.
What do you like in terms of what's inside the glass?
Champagne cocktail.
Champagne cocktail is an excellent idea. I think I'll follow your lead.
It smells so good.
I'm going to smell. Who made the chocolates, eh?
C's.
C's made the chocolates. I happened to be by there recently. C's that I go to is near my dentist. Well, that's ironic. And I tell you, I stop in there every time I can.
I know he loves it when we stop into C's.
I used to have dental appointments.
The dentist, I mean.
Well, I had a great quote from him. I asked him about like Halloween candy. I said, well, what do you give out? Toothbrushes? He's like, no. I give out like the stuff that I like, and I hope that the kids don't come so I can scarf it all. So he's just eating all that stuff. And he said, I don't remember the last time I was at the dentist. I'm like, wow, that's actually not really selling the product very well, but it's hilarious. And there we go. C's is brilliant, and I think it's kind of awesome that it is near the dentist. And, my one regret there is that I think they open at 10, and for years I had to get my dental appointments at like 9 in the morning just to make them efficient. I would go to the dentist, and then I'd go to work, and I would never get to take advantage of C's. Well, now I just go, I'm coming from here, so I'm like, I'm not going to get a 9 a.m. appointment. Saw that. I'll get like 2 p.m. Sounds good to me.
I grew up in California where there's C's everywhere.
Everywhere.
I came to New York. There were no C's.
Nada.
At all. Paul had never heard of it.
Squatta. Not a lot of.
And then one time, this has to have been about 20 years ago now, I was in a store that had, I think it might have been Century 21. It was either a store or a mall, but there was a C's kiosk.
Oh,
and I was like, oh my God, it's C's.
Heart palpitations.
And Paul's like, what?
Yeah.
And now there's a C's store in New York City.
And I think there's a pop-up in Macy's, too, where you can get C's.
Oh, is there? Good.
And, of course, there's a couple of local chocolatiers in New York that we happen to like a lot, like Lilac, who is brilliant. And they have a couple of pop-ups.
Oh, too. Eric, we used to have a walk Yeah,
yes.
I don't know whatever happened to our wok.
We had a sort of an individual sized wok, which is very likely packed away somewhere.
Yeah,
and most of the time, I just kind of wok vegetables inside a large deep pan, and it works very similarly, and it works very well. Wok cookery is high heat, very minimal oil, and quick, and just a couple of sauces.
Yeah, Amy, that sounds perfect for the cauliflower.
So if you don't know how to make the champagne cocktail, I assume you do by now, but if you don't, of course, here's your champagne flute. The flute is recommended rather than the saucer. Here is 1 sugar cube. You got to get sugar cubes. This doesn't work with syrup.
I'm actually not writing these recipes down because we've done them so many times. But...
Soak with bitters. And punked.
Fill with champagne.
Like lamp.
Or whatever you got.
Fill with your bubbles. I just say bubbly because that
whatever
covers
you got.
everything. And take this slowly because that sugar cube provides a lot of cavitation points. So this is going to be fizzy. And as the sugar cube dissolves,
keep it
coming. I don't want to overflow. You know, it'd be a mess.
I know, that would be a mess.
We've already gotten sticky over here. And
Thank
here you go. Yes. Oh.
Then he bopped it. Wow.
Whoops. Once again.
Hi, Lisa and Errol. Good to see you.
Saturate with your bitters using Angostura. That's entirely
milk butterscotch
wise.
Square.
Hello.
Oh, that sounds
Hello.
great.
Isn't that a good thing? Mm-hmm.
Yum-ola.
YOMOLA. Very carefully fill. I should be doing that waiter pour too. You know, I should have like the hand on the bottom of the bottle. This apparently gives you more control. Actually, it does. Come to think of it.
It looks drippy.
There we go. And boom. And scene.
All right.
Stop her back in.
I just like the special effects.
Those special effect drinks are great. We do that frequently. You've got like your colored liqueurs, you've got blue stuff, you've got color changing with that blur.
Oh, Errol, your cucumbers are fine. Thank you for joining us.
You have, say, the tequila sunrise, which has like an effect which sort of bleeds upwards. You have the aviation, which has that little blue layer at the bottom, which is very pretty. Kind of reminds you of sort of like that layer between in the atmosphere as if you're flying. So there we go. But here we have a sugar cube which is dissolving and causing a ton of bubbles the whole time. It's sort of like a big glass of Guinness or something. Big fun.
He just reminded me of Johnny in Airplane. Looks like a big Tylenol.
Big Tylenol. It's a big glass of bubbles, and there we go. I'm going to continue with, because we happen to have the donut holes.
I still have some truffle.
Mm-hmm. I will have some truffle shortly.
I happen to be going to the dentist on Wednesday, so I could always go back to C's if need be.
I think need be. One needs. It's like, you know, all of you West Coast folks, you don't miss In-N-Out until you move out of state. And then suddenly you're thinking, wow, I really like those fries. Yeah, you did. Animal style. Now you're talking.
Pardon me.
Oh, that is so civilized. I got to say, a few bubbles on a Sunday. On a Sunday at around 1. Hey! Hello to you, too.
Oh, watching Spence Breezeway. We have Love Boat on.
Yep. It's a good thing to have on a Valentine's Day type episode, I say. Which is fun. Because, you know, love. Although sometimes, as we've seen on some recent episodes, not so much love. I don't know. Sometimes
and he says, I love that a poured Guinness is described as cascading. Yes. That's very fancy.
It's because the Guinness is pressurized with nitrogen, of course. I think Phil could speak to this entire process, being a slinger of suds himself.
A slinger of suds. Is that on your business card?
You should have that on your business cards, I gotta say.
Slinger of suds.
And, you know, his suds tend to be a little lighter butt.
Thank you, Phil.
And that's the important part. But, you know, it's pressurized, which is part of what causes this, like, to go through the system. But then all of those nitrogen bubbles start to, like, fall out of the solution. And they're actually heavier than the fluid, so they start to sink, which is fascinating. Now, eventually they coalesce, and then you get that, like, extremely dense foam at the top there. And I think I've heard that in Dublin, they start pouring those, like, half an hour before quitting time so that you can get that perfect pour. Because you got to wait. You gotta let that settle, and then you're good.
Oh, I'm gonna let you field this one. I've only seen a few episodes of Next Generation, so.
Kind of bartender. Oh, never saw that. I never watched that much TNG myself. I watched DS9 frequently, and I thought that the scripts in there were better written than some of the other series. I thought that they were like very, very literate and well done. And they're really good characters on that. And of course, this was this junkie outpost somewhere, so it was reminded me a lot of, say, what am I thinking of?
You just reminded me, Satellite. We have coffee too. We should go pour some coffee.
We should pour some coffee. Yeah, I should pour some coffee next. That would be wise because otherwise I'm just keep.
I made this huge pot of coffee and totally forgot about it. So
I'll tell you what. Make space. I'll grab a water, grab a coffee. And I'll be ready to go. Maybe we'll.
Well, here I can put my coffee on.
Crack out some conversation hearts. Hello.
Because
there you go.
My drink has its own built-in coaster. So.
I keep thinking Star Crash. That's a completely different motion picture. That's like Corman with Carolyn Monroe. But it's actually, we own this too.
Is it love? Exciting.
I'm trying to think of what the hell DS9 reminds me of. But anyway, to elaborate, I really need to look that up. That sounds hilarious that you get your bartender. He's like, ping, and, special effects. Well, look, the whole idea of the Trek series from original series onward is that you've got a food synthesizer. You press a button, you say, coffee, black, 2 sugars. There you go. Coffee, black, 2 sugars. It's just creating this out of molecules. Well, it's a fun idea. It's an idea that still hasn't come to fruition. We got flip phones, but we don't have that.
Errol's talking about donut holes. Had a math teacher in high school that asked, you dig a hole 3 feet in diameter and 2 feet deep. How much dirt is in the hole? Answer, none. It's a hole.
Wise guy. The real question is how much dirt did you remove from the hole? And then you have to start talking cubic feet and blah, blah, blah. I will tell you, I had to right our fence. Frost heaves made it tilt terribly last season, and I did, but I basically had to dig it out. And an extremely small footprint of digging out post holes yielded huge amounts of dirt. It was really pretty incredible.
Oh,
so that's an interesting question.
DS9 had the Vix Lounge episodes. I never watched that either.
I love the fact that it was Vix Lounge. And wasn't it...
Oh, Babylon 5, Sherry's thing. Did you watch that?
Never watched Babylon 5. Yeah. That's a fun one.
Amy's having tea. Earl Grey.
And isn't Red Dwarf a space series? People talk to us all the time. Oh, you haven't seen Red Dwarf? English series.
Oh yeah, Eric's saying Babylon 5 too. Eric, you're on the same wavelength as Sherry.
P5, baby. I'm trying to think if what else was for a space series. In the 70s there was about a 7-episode series named Quark.
I remember
Benjamin.
Quark.
I remember watching.
Oh my God! Why does our video signal keep getting interrupted on Facebook?
I don't know. I got to tell you, but I remember watching those at the time. I think we saw most of them because it was a space series, and there were fun characters like Jean.
I remember Jean.
This is just one of those things that like somebody convinced Richard Benjamin to do, and he's just like, sure. And it gets canned, and I think, yeah, why? Today it would run for like 2 years on cable.
Is this a trick question? 17 sheep, all but 9 died. How many are left? This has to be a trick question.
The answer would be 9 in that case.
Yeah. 9.
It's one of those logic questions. That's one of those logic questions that they give you during a sleep deprivation experiment, and on the 37th hour you're like,
oh, okay.
I don't know, let me think about that.
Red Dwarf is a comedy. All right, yes. I would watch that.
Yeah.
Oh, Smeg.
Oh, Smeg.
Where do you bury the survivors? That was Picard's drink from Star Trek. Oh, okay.
Tea, Earl Grey. Yes, that's right.
All right.
Tea, Earl Grey. Thank you. Number 1, make it so. I actually don't get your tea, sir. Oh, that's correct.
I have to say, when we were at the Star Trek experience and I saw people wearing newer uniforms, I didn't get them at all. Like all the original series.
Yeah, pretty obvious.
TOS, all those. I got all those costumes, but then people were wearing ones from
Next Generation.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay. I mean, I get that it's Star Trek. But
it looks enough like it. The actual experience does have uniforms. There's several
Yeah, we got a lot of
period.
We got a lot of thumbs up for Red
from
Dwarf.
series.
Okay, good.
So there we go. I guess we need to
Thank you, Lisa. It's actually tomorrow, but I bet no one's going to be watching on Monday. So thank you.
So we're watching today because, hey, people have a little bit of time.
Maybe
it is morning for you. Maybe it is already afternoon. As for us, it doesn't matter. Crack those bubbles because that's what you want to do with them. And look at that. So we started out with the sugar cube. Now I have this tiny little layer because it's basically just dissolved into the drink. It's basically just a little...
I have a little bit more than you have.
It's like using a liqueur. It's like what we did for the first round, right? Except that you get the special effects of the sugar cube dissolving. It's kind of classic. Champagne
two
cocktail.
Coins equaling 55 cents. What are the 2 coins? One is not a nickel. Do they have to be American coins?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, if it's cents, it's American coins. If it was UK
No, but
coins,
if they equal 55 cents...
You mean
foreign money could equal 55 cents.
You mean sort of like in conversion?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a spot rate. Tomorrow will be different. That's the problem with that.
Well, we're only talking about right now.
Okay, so right now, conversion rate, does that count? Just asking.
I don't know. Like I gotta know the rules of this game.
Rules of that game. I gotta know that. Oh, speaking of which, they're serving bubbles on Das Love Boat. Hello.
Das Love Boot.
Das Liebe Boot.
There's a film mashup for you. Das Love Boot. Hi, Disney, for the win. Good to see you.
So one of them is a dime and one of them is a 45-cent piece. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Big fun. Let's see.
Yes, American coins.
Okay, so we got to go with U.S. currency. And what do we got here? Let's see, a penny and a 54-cent piece. No, that doesn't work. It's not a nickel. Okay. It's not a dime and a 45-cent piece. Nope. Can't be a quarter and a quarter. That would be 50. Nope. There is still such a thing as a Kennedy half. I think they're still made. They do not circulate, which is kind of crazy. There's a coin that nobody ever simply uses as a coin. And what is a quarter worth these days? Not as much as it used to. So having a coin that's worth a couple of quarters would be pretty useful. Yeah, well, we have enough trouble with the dollar coins, which are perfectly useful as far as I'm concerned, and I like to get them, and then I don't see them too often. So what the heck? Yes, that's right. I know. That's why I said it. I said it because it's funny. Let's see. What else could that possibly be? Yep. Thinking about it. And we're not talking like subtractive. It's not like this minus that equals 55.
Well, I was thinking about that, but
No, that doesn't
unless
work.
there are coins I don't know about.
Are we talking all U.S. currency that has ever been made? I'm not talking...
A good mashup would be Love Boat heading to Fantasy Island. That would be a good mashup. I would be here to watch that.
Love Boat heading to Fantasy Island and passing Gilligan's Island. Now we're really mixing genres here.
Picking up the castaways on the way.
So like, by the way, you're rescued. What? Huh? Who? Huh? And it's a cruise ship, so there's plenty of food and stuff. Oh, wow.
One is not a nickel, but the other one is. Oh, Julie. Okay, thank you.
Wise guy. But somebody's wiser than
All
me.
right, yeah.
All right. Let's get some Java.
We needed Julie to help us out with that.
We did need Julie.
That's pretty funny, actually. That's good. Oh, it's good. It's good. Did everyone else know that? Just Paul and I sitting here looking stupid.
No.
I'll give you a clue. You're overthinking it. Well, yeah, Julie solved it for us. So I always do the spelling bee puzzle. They drop it every day at 3 a.m. So I'm like, my mind is trained now. So I wake up at like 3:01. I'm like, I gotta do the puzzle. And it's amazing how much better you do when you wake up in the morning and you're actually rested. Because at 3 a.m. I'm making up words and, you know. Oh, Getty's bringing me up says, I only knew because it was a joke on the Cosby Show. Oh. Oh. That's so funny. I guess I haven't been watching Cosby Show either. I can appreciate a good gag.
It's more impressive when you actually have the coffee service.
Okay.
Poured for you on air.
Well, I suppose so. I don't take anything in my coffee, so.
I know.
Oh, Amy says, I think I'm the only person not playing Wordles. I do the spelling bee. I would probably love Wordles, but can't take on too many puzzles, can you?
Yeah, the brain needs
Gettysburg Man started playing.
Brain needs to be stimulated one or two ways, but that's it.
You're also sorry, Mrs. Conversation was busy opening a bottle of bubbly. All right, little coffee spacer in between the bubbles. Oh, it's good. It's good.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah, Sherry's not playing Wordles. Or Wordle, is it? Yeah, Wordle, I guess. Oh, this is so funny. I actually have a little bit of sugar left in the bottom of my glass. I could probably just pour some bubbles in there and finish up that sugar. Will he be back? Will he be back?
Realize that we're having some food here. We've got some napkins.
Oh, well, we need pink napkins.
Oh, well.
Pink and red. Or orange. We're wearing orange.
Call that a fail.
Well, it's not a fail. You didn't fail. You just didn't coordinate. Oh, Satellite says I was playing it and seemed to irritate Facebook peeps. Oh, really? I'm obsessed with Spelling Bee. Thank you. Oh, see, isn't that better? Coordinates.
Spelling Bee she does every day. And,
I do.
And will typically make a genius.
I'm not satisfied unless I reach genius status.
Some days...
Amazing isn't good enough.
Some days the lineup of letters is pretty difficult. So.
Oh, well, the pangram was the first one I got today. I woke up at 3:01, brought up the fresh puzzle, and the first word I looked at was the pangram.
Oh.
So, I won't say what it is, because if you're still playing...
If you're still playing, and you haven't got it, that would be me. I would look at it for hours and be like, I don't understand what the secret word is. I can get lots of words on it. I can get some pretty obscure words on it, as long as they're there.
That's true.
And then I'll get some obscure words that are not in their list, and I think that's in my dictionary. So, however...
Well, it's weird, because they say we don't allow foreign words unless they do. There are certain non-English words that they always allow, so...
Yeah, we're kind of getting into either Chicago Manual of Style or, like, a contemporary dictionary in terms of usage.
You should play Wordless.
Yeah. And I think you get, like, a good... I'm trying to think. The American Heritage, I think I've used that dictionary for years, and I like it because they have a very specific sort of U.S. perspective. And they talk a lot about usage in there. Because sometimes you'll have two different spellings of a word that are both acceptable just because of usage.
Although, but they'll allow both in Spelling Bee, usually.
Spelling Bee, which is great because you get double points, right? And then you start talking about not just spellings, but foreign words. Has that been sufficiently absorbed into accepted standard English for this to be considered just a word that people use?
But then, like, you'll put in one that it will accept, and then you'll put in another one that I would think would be equally absorbed, as you said. Mm-hmm. But then it won't allow it. It's like,
that's really interesting. That's interesting. Half of the language we're speaking right now is...
Errol says, genius status. I'm perfectly content being an idiot. I'm not going to be owned by the Spelling Bee puzzle.
You're not going to boon me. Well.
That's true. Okay, Sherry says, you can't do only English words because English has multiple language influences. True.
Well, I was about to note that, first of all, it's a Germanic language. And second of all, it starts blending with some Gaelic. And third, then you have the Norman invasion and suddenly you're speaking some French. And that just gets sucked into the language. And unlike a lot of other languages, English just kind of grabs it all, starts using it, and doesn't change the spelling.
Okay, Eric says, my favorite word in the world is absquatulate. What does that mean? That's a new one on me.
That sounds like you made it up. So I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear what that is all about.
And I'm going to have to keep it in mind.
Because it actually kind of sounds like what I think it is. So that's kind of fun. That's the fun part of that. But yeah.
Do you have a favorite word?
Do I have a favorite word?
Do you have a favorite word?
Do you have a favorite word? Anybody?
Share it here if you have a favorite word.
Put it right here on the mat, pal. Let's do. But your point from Sherry is interesting, and we really get right back to usage. What is considered standard usage in English? There used to be a pretty good agreement on that, and then we got to the internet, and it's just all over the place. And spelling is completely shot to hell. That doesn't mean there's not such a thing as a spelling bee, because they still hold them and people win them. And there was a whole documentary about that, which is fun. And I think, being able to spell the queens/kings, I don't know who's English we're speaking these days, we still be the queens, is actually it's still a skill. It's still a skill. And grammar is still a skill. That's kind of shot to hell too, and it's very unfortunate. But it's not that hard either. And I think, well, what is usage? If something becomes sort of generic.
I love it. Kitty's breaking me out. My favorite word in the English language is payday. I love it.
Now we're talking.
That is a beautiful word.
I think it's a word that everybody can agree on and within this audience.
Okay, Eric says it means to get up and flee suddenly. Then you go tell somebody to absquatulate. I'm pretty sure you'll get it. How do you absquatulate? Oh, Errol's grandmother used to play crypto quotes, which made everyone feel stupid.
Oh, jeez.
I've seen that in the paper and just been like, what? What?
Is that the one where you solve 3 words and then you have to solve the whole puzzle?
Yeah.
Okay. I have played that fairly successfully, but I will say fair being the sort of rating you might give to an ancient piece of porcelain, which actually means bad. So I would say, I would play that badly. I keep doing sorts of things just to keep the brain fresh, but ultimately I think I'm better at other sorts of puzzles. I'll take a look at her puzzle every day and I'm like, I'm not getting that quickly. It makes me terrible at Scrabble cubes, which I happen to like a lot. That's kind of a classic variation from the 60s.
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Almost. Well, she's very close. We're only a day away. Mere hours.
Only a day away.
And we're suddenly back to Broadway.
Brain games are good for the cranium. Exactly.
I will challenge the brain, therefore, because I want to keep sharp. I don't want to suddenly get to age, fill in the blank, and say, I can't remember stuff because I haven't been exercising the cranium. So
there's one I love to do, which it's not a puzzle. It's just a quiz. But in the Morning Brew newsletter, I don't know what the website is, but yeah, there's a newsletter every day called Morning Brew, and it has a lot of financial news, really. It's kind of like financial news, but it's got a lot of fun stuff in it, too. It's not dry at all. But once a week or so, they'll do one called 3 Headlines and a Lie.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of fun.
So they'll have like 4 crazy headlines, and 3 of them are real, and 1 of them is made up. And then they have links to all the articles of the real ones, and that's hilarious because they're all nuts. So 3 of those articles were real.
Yeah, you got 4 nuts things, but 3 of them are. You want to call one of those up?
Amy likes the word pixelated. I like a lot of words, so I can't pick a favorite.
Now here's a fun spelling thing. Does pixelated have 1 L or 2? Phonetically, 1 L works fine, but I think it has 2, which is really nuts. Why does it have 2? And I could be wrong, too. I'll say that.
Wait, Earl says, speaking of English words, guys in meetings will say utilize. I ask, why you didn't just say use? It's cheaper.
It's cheaper on Wheel of Fortune, put it that way.
Oh, Eric's saying, how many people actually read the bridge section in the newspaper? I don't get a newspaper, but...
Back in the day, I would see it, and I would take a look at it, and I would have no idea. If you play bridge, you're good. And it's one of those mental
does anyone
challenges.
here play bridge?
Does anybody here play bridge?
I'm curious.
No, there's a classic 4-player game.
I've never played
that.
bridge.
That classic mid-century game. Back in the day, many people played bridge.
My father started to teach us bridge when I was in like 6th grade, but that didn't go very far.
Contract bidding. Who the hell knows? I remember learning cribbage when I was in junior high school. Can't play to save my life now.
Oh, Eric says it's like the Bluff the Listener challenge on the NPR show. Wait, don't tell me. Exactly. It's so funny because the articles are hilarious. I'm going to see if I can find the last one. Because we could all play it together.
Let's check it out.
I bet it's in my trash.
I was about
Hold
to
on.
say, check out the daily because it would be hilarious to deliver one of those.
Oh, look, here's today's Morning Brew newsletter. But,
hey.
But.
And did your newspaper with the bridge section? So I remember, I think my daily newspaper did have such a thing back when I was a kid. Did yours also have a chess section? No, that's kind of a fun thing too. You know, daily chess challenge. Now that's getting pretty abstract strategy right there. Bridge is a game of
I just found it.
Skill.
Okay, all right. 3 headlines and a lie. Let's play it.
Shall we play? Winner gets another glass of champagne. I'm not drinking champagne. I'm just drinking bubbles. But
for you,
you, this will definitely come from friends. So,
okay. 3 headlines. One of these is made up. The first one. I lost my mom to QAnon. Wordle is bringing her back.
That's an actual headline, maybe. So.
Number 2. Gucci wants to hire a new head of ugly shoes.
That's a quote unquote. The head of ugly shoes is a job description. Gucci is interested in this, perhaps.
Number 3. Jennifer Coolidge turned down a hot dog commercial after Legally Blonde 2.
I don't.
If you remember that scene in Legally Blonde 2, when she says to Elle, like, "You look so patriotic. Makes me want a hot dog real bad." Anyway. Number 4. Wandering hen taken into custody at Pentagon security area.
I have a feeling that's a real headline, but that's just me. That could be the fake.
Well, I know the answer.
You got 4 big ones over here. I do not know the answer, so I'll take a guess at that.
All right.
You've already done this puzzle?
I have.
Okay.
The first one, I'll read them again. I lost my mom to QAnon. Wordle is bringing her back.
That's frankly plausible.
Gucci wants to hire a new head of ugly shoes.
That's also kind of plausible.
Jennifer Coolidge turned down a hot dog commercial after Legally Blonde 2.
So specific that probably is true.
Well, I think that's plausible because she was a big star by then, so why would she be doing commercials?
She was actually, unless it's a commercial from, say, South Asia where they pay you a lot of money.
Wandering hen taken into custody at Pentagon security area. Oh, okay. Sherry's saying under AP style, it's only one L in words like canceled. Okay, yeah. Accent on the first syllable. I've misplaced my style book. Okay, I see that.
Okay, I can see it because look, phonetically, you don't need the extra, but sometimes you get it. Says,
most shoes from Gucci are ugly, so that's a big concession.
I'm going to be doing a lot of work here, folks.
Okay, wait. All right. Oh,
go with the Gucci. Got to vote for the Gucci head of ugly shoes.
Okay, Disney for the win is saying hen is fake. To you. Okay. Eric's going with the Gucci. Errol says, I like the headline. Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought him back.
We have a good question here.
Okay.
Why is it a W and not a double V? Well, a W as normally made, except in sort of cursive, is in fact a couple of V's thrown together. I can answer that because the Latins, that is the Romans, didn't make any big distinction between what we call a U and what we call a V. I've heard that the famous exclamation "Veni Vidi Vici" should be pronounced "Veni Vidi Vici." Now that sounds pretty weenie and doesn't sound like the leader of anything to me, so I'm going to stick with the V's on that case. But that's why that is. That's why you'll see these inscriptions on like neo-Romanesque buildings from the 40s that have a lot of V's where we would use U's.
Oh, Lisa, I want a tiki bar built at your farmland so we can visit it.
Yeah. like I would.
Okay, so are we ready? Are we ready to hear the fake one?
Well, let me actually make my guess.
All right.
And let's take a second look at both platforms to see. Again, we're on both platforms. If you want to switch back and forth or view both, whatever the hell, I don't care. Sounds good to me. Let's see.
Do you?
You do, you do. Okay, let me see the choices again. And the good shape.
Three of these are real headlines.
Yeah, I'm thinking really hard here. So what is really, because honestly, they are all plausible because that's the name of the game. But one of these should be a little more out to lunch than the others. And it's not necessarily. Frequently the one that is a lie is like, oh really? Because that means that three of these nuts things really happened. Okay, just for giggles, I'm going to go with number 3. I'm going to say that Jennifer Coolidge took that hot dog commercial.
The winner is, they made up the Gucci one.
They made up the Gucci. Ah!
But yeah, if you want to do this once a week, subscribe to the Morning Brew newsletter.
Got a Morning Brew. And big fun. So that's a little word game. We suddenly got onto games from sci-fi, which is interesting, which is not unusual with this show. This is what we do. Also, we have a few drinks, which we had.
Planning to convert an old grain silo into a tiki bar.
Wow.
I love it.
A very tall and narrow tiki bar. Actually, not that narrow considering grain silos. That's actually a good footprint to start with, and it goes up about 4 stories. Wow.
Ew.
You could put.
Are you going to go up? Or are you going to do multiple stories? Because
you can do like a spiral staircase that goes all the way up to like 4 or 5 different theme bars. All right, that's pretty elaborate.
Wow.
You better be pretty well financed, but I'd visit that. Dang.
Build a parking lot. You're going to be a destination.
Hello. That's HELL capital O. Wow. Okay. This is sounding fun already.
Oh, Eric, yeah, that's the same as like Bulgari in New York City. It's like Bulgari, but it's Bulgari.
Yeah. Which potentially should be pronounced Vulgari, but I'm not going to make any comment on their products.
In the words of Tom Jones, it's not unusual.
Tom is correct.
Almost at the end of my coffee, you know what that means. More bubbles.
More bubbles. Selma is, of course, from Wales, where you see a lot of very long words with a hell of a lot of consonants. Wow, that language got phoneticized in an interesting way. So did Gaelic. So.
Ew. Hold on.
Got a thing? We have more coffee too, by the way, folks.
I'm just sorry. I opened my email to.
You got a thing?
Find the 3 headlines and a lie. 4 headlines. 4 headlines and a lie.
Mm-hmm.
No, 3 headlines and a lie, because 3 of them are real.
Yes.
3 headlines and a lie.
Yeah.
And I got distracted
3 and a lie.
Got distracted by an email.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's an important email. So, in the meantime, let's actually proceed
to be
with
loved
something.
by anyone. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. Oh, you should bring over the Tom Jones album we have on display. Or I should. Someone should.
Somebody should do that.
Just for the
S&G. For the
S&G.
S&G, as we like to say. Is it mimosa time?
Sure.
I should rinse these glasses because they still have a little bit of sugar residue, and you probably don't want that in your mimosa. But you probably want your final sip. You don't say. Yeah, that's pretty
That was
sweet.
more of a drop.
That was a drop. Yeah, so it was a drop.
Why is GHOTI pronounced fish?
Somebody's quoting Shaw.
I haven't heard this one. I need to think about this for a minute. Do the Carlton. It's so funny. We have a workout. Talks about doing the Carlton, which is actually a workout move. All right. G-H-O-T-I.
What are you looking for?
Why is G-H-O-T-I pronounced fish?
It isn't, but that's a famous exercise from who else? G.B. Shaw.
Okay.
He was a writer.
I need to think. I know
like
who George Bernard Shaw was.
A reviewer before he was a writer.
I know who George Bernard Shaw was.
So he spent a hell of a lot of time scribbling about plays before he started writing plays.
I got to think about it.
And he had a famous example of spelling in English being bizarre, which it is. And he was a little fed up with it all. So he actually decided to come up with this funny word and say, under standard English pronunciation, that's how that should be pronounced. So this would be...
you know the answer to this
I do know the answer to this one. You can think about it or whatnot.
Oh, I'm thinking about it.
Yep. And by the way, that would be a Shavian reference, which is, once again, we're talking about W's and V's.
I went to acting school. I know who George Bernard Shaw was.
No, I'm just saying that before he was well known as a playwright, he did a hell of a lot of scribbling, so he spent a lot of time thinking about the language.
Lisa's mom loves Tom Jones. Who doesn't, right?
86. I think he's still rocking. We saw him when he was, I believe, 80 or 79, and he was rocking. I got to tell you. He is undoubtedly missing a few top notes, and he wasn't moving about the stage as if it was 1969, but who would? And the simple fact is he had a ton of power, a fantastic band, and what a show. A lot of panties got thrown at that show a mere 6 years ago. So,
all right, I'm looking it up because I don't have time to sit here and think about it.
Irregularities in English spelling. What do you have? You have a GH from the word rough, which is pronounced as in F.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got it.
You have an O that has as in eh sound, as in woman.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, Lisa's mom used to watch the A-Team because she liked George Papar.
Oh. Well, he had a certain sort of oomph now, didn't he? Let's get some. You know what? I forgot the Jones. So what we have on display.
So wait. So you got GH for f.
Yep.
Like rough.
And an O for eh. And then a TI for a sh. And there you go. Like fiction.
Wait, hold on, though.
Check it again.
No, I gotta look at it again. But TI for
sh. Fiction. For instance. That's just one word that uses that.
All right, I think it's a stretch, George, but
he was talking about the fact that words are spelled in a bizarre way.
Tom Jones was a panelist on Britain's version of The Voice. No, I get what you're saying. I really do. I'm just like, okay.
It's ultimately not that much of a stretch, and all he's talking about is the fact that English absorbs words from everywhere and doesn't change the spelling, and then you're supposed to remember the phoneticization from Norwegian, French.
Lisa says my mom loves Tom Jones, Don Ho, Dick Cavett.
Oh.
Yes.
That's like three classic shows from back in the day.
Exactly.
Cavett ran for years. Great talk show.
I did not realize
Don Ho had a show.
Tom Jones was on The Voice in Britain.
Fun.
Interesting.
His show ran for 2, maybe 3 years in the UK, and we actually have a collection of the Christmas episodes, which are great.
Oh, yeah.
I think you can get collections of the entire series, and he has great guests. He's just like, I'm a music guy. I have big hits. He's just going to have whatever guests he wants to have on the show. They're just fantastic. His second season one, he has Ella Fitzgerald. Hello. That's, I can stop right there. So the actual Tom we have on display for Valentine's Day is, of course, the Love album, Rescue Me. This is the album that reveals that Tom has more chest hair than you. And as a matter of fact, if I recall properly...
You gotta tilt it down, though, because the light's hitting it. See?
There we go.
There you go.
There we go. Now we got that properly. If I recall properly...
I'm surprised they got away with putting that cover in...
Oh, you're surprised that they got away with...
Oh, yeah, no, this is even better. This is even better.
The gatefold insert away in stores. Because this is like, I am Champion Jones. Yes. My. That's a little sexist, frankly. But...
Sorry.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
But it's hilarious. And yeah, it's a fun record, too. He does do a good version of Rescue Me.
I don't remember that particular song on Electric. I remember watching Electric Company when I was a kid, but I don't remember that particular song. But, you know, a lot of things have happened since then.
Was that Electric Company or was that Schoolhouse Rock?
Oh, was it? I don't know.
I think it's a grammar rock thing, my friend. Yep. Tom, I will say this much about the man. I don't think he made a bad album in his life. So if you see it, pick it up and listen to it on your phonograph, and you'll say, oh, wow. And I would say the same about Lou Rawls. I don't think there's a such thing as a bad Lou Rawls album out there. And he's kind of like, he's sort of in the same vein as Tom. He's a little more laid back, but he's like, he really delivers it. Love Lou.
Don Ho was great. Lisa says, my mom used to make me sing Tiny Bubbles with her when we watched Don Ho. I love that.
He had a mid-70s series. I don't know how long it lasted.
He did.
And I never saw it. I don't know why. I don't know, maybe it wasn't syndicated in our area, but that's kind of a natural.
I didn't either.
I mean, his show live was just like, hey, I'm kind of laid back. We're making a few drinks and suck them up, folks. And they would just play just a bunch of standards and a bunch of Hop Alley stuff. And he was just, you listen to his voice, and he's like this very interesting combination of Elvis and Dino. Really
Tom is still putting out good music. Amy is correct.
I remember hearing the album that was current at the time that we saw him kicked off with the Tommy James song, I'm Alive. Wow, that's a good version of that song. And I was
Eric's
familiar
saying,
with
what
that.
about Herb Alpert's Whipped Cream? Yes, it's amazing.
Well, yeah. But
he's saying Electric Company. He has the DVD.
Yes, it's Electric. Okay.
I didn't know. I don't remember that one.
I'd have to look up what the hell I'm thinking of to see like what's what. Because I remember a grammar rock thing.
Gettysburg Man says, my grandmother was obsessed with Elvis and played Blue Hawaii religiously. Oh, that's a good one.
I think your great-grandmother liked Elvis. Which is,
because of the hymns.
Which is surprising when you consider the background, but he did religious albums.
Yes.
And his best-selling album in 1966 was his second album of hymns. So there you go. He did it big. But he remembered his sources. So we're going to go for Mimosa.
I think we're going to do a mimosa.
Works for me. So I will use the appropriate proportions here. This is very full, so I'm going to hold this like this.
A little full, a lot of sap.
A lot of sap. So that's
plenty.
About right. Most people would
That's way too much OJ.
So most people would do about 3 times the OJ.
That's enough.
And then filling up with the bubbles. But we kind of reverse those proportions and come up with this. You can fill with your bubbles of choice.
Oh, I remember Janet Jackson, too. He was mentioning Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, 3 is a magic number. That's great. I do remember that one.
Oh, yeah.
I do remember that one.
I remember the Four-Legged Shoe. That's a great song. Bob Durrell.
Yep.
Bob Durrell, who was like a bebop jazz singer from Oklahoma City. Hello. Got that going on, too.
I didn't know that.
If I'm not mistaken. Well, he's from Oklahoma. I don't know if he's from OC. I'd have to see that in particular, but I'm pretty damn sure he's okay. So let's fill with bubbles. But first, let's find some bitters.
I have bitters right over there.
I was thinking of the Peychaud's because it adds a little bit of color.
All right.
A little bit of flavor. So a dash or 2.
Why not?
Peychaud's. These used to be very hard to find in the states outside of Nolans. But now you can find them most places. They are an excellent adjunct to your Angostura. They do different things.
I remember Aphex Twin. Not well, but
I remember the name.
I do remember the name.
Mm-hmm. We were recently watching a DJ, I think about a week ago, who managed to throw on some Cocteau Twins. And I thought, I haven't heard the Cocteau Twins in ages.
Now he plays Cocteau Twins occasionally.
He does? Okay, well, the song he played was not a big number for them, so it was kind of fun to hear. I like the more obscure numbers, deeper cuts, deep tracks, etc., album tracks on these things. This is ridiculous.
It's like it's not snowing anymore.
It has, in fact, ceased. I was able to shovel most of our driveway and our neighbor's driveway with not much effort, which is saying a lot considering our more recent snowfalls. So here we go.
Thank you.
I posted. There's a topper.
Cheers.
Not much, but
I'll have to open another bottle.
I guess I'll just have to open another bottle. There you go. Well, it's a Sunday afternoon.
Ooh, Amy just dropped an album link on Facebook. So
hello.
Check it out.
Time, surrounded by time. Ooh. Sounds like fun. Is that an album themed with that? That could be big fun.
Oh, he passed away. Well, that's too bad.
I would not be surprised at all that Bob Dora is no longer with us.
Not Tom Jones. We're not talking about Tom Jones. Sorry, just to be clear, we're not talking about Tom Jones.
Talk about Bob Dora.
A couple of conversations happening here. Tom is fine.
Not surprised at all if Bob Dora is no longer with us. And I would also not be surprised if you said, oh no, he's like 98 and he's still kicking around and writing songs. Sure.
Let's find out.
Because these things are like that. Bob is also the voice on that Miles Davis Christmas song, Blue Christmas. Don't make concern. If you listen to that, you're like, oh yeah, I recognize that guy.
Bob Dura died in 2018.
2018? Gotcha. And he's actually from Arkansas, so I am totally full of it. Boom.
Oh, do you remember which Kato Twins track he played? I do not remember.
I do not.
Actually.
I do not. I was not familiar with it.
Oh, Amy, that's
cool.
a great idea, Amy. We should put some music in the Amazon store.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really good idea.
I don't think about CDs too much anymore, but what the heck?
I know. Well, you could always just do a download.
I mean, the fact is we play a lot of LPs around here. I've been playing a lot of surround sound LPs lately. If you check up on the Facebook, I'm posting that in that present listening forum. Some of them are surprisingly well done. I would say that surround sound, Captain and Tennille, first album, really well done. Yeah.
John Williams is still with us. Okay. Well,
Johnny Williams. Hey.
Good.
Johnny Williams has to be about 85 anyway.
You call him Johnny?
He was originally Johnny Williams, so I think I'm very fond of that. And you'll find Johnny Williams being credited on 60s TV shows. I think Lost in Space theme. I think he did 2 themes for Lost in Space. They're both good! So that's my big thumbs up for John, is that he did the score to a very early 60s show with Sebastian Cabot named Checkmate, which is a really cool theme. And I've heard selections from the album. I'm like, wow, I need to find this. It's pretty obscure. I'd like to see the show sometime. I think Richard Long was in that too. I could be wrong. Never seen the series, but it's around the same era as like Peter Gunn, which of course had the theme that launched all of the other themes, Henry Mancini. There we go. John Williams was a contemporary, and he did a lot of great, cool jazzy stuff until he suddenly became like the man to turn to for space epics. And we go from there. Also large... I
was going to say, not just space.
Large aquatic mammal.
Not just space.
He has done journeyman work for decades now. Seriously. And let's not forget John Barry. That's one of my favorites, for sure.
Lisa says, no shame. We've started on our second bottle. The shame will come on Monday when the neighbors hear the horrendous crash of bottles into the recycle truck.
Gee, that's making me think of Sitting Pretty, you know?
Exactly.
Man bringing out the recycles. Do you want to list of the guests? You know?
Well, if you've never seen Sitting Pretty, look for it if you have TCM.
Yeah, I don't think it's...
there's a DVD available, but it's a really crappy burn, so don't buy it. It's not a good job. But
yeah, we bought it, we played it, it totally died at the end of the disc, and we sent it back.
But yeah, no, it's a Mr. Belvedere movie. But
it's the first Mr. Belvedere.
But one of the neighbors is pulling out a trash can that's just full of liquor bottles. And the nosy neighbor's like,
ooh,
like looking at the bottles. And he's like, do you want a list of guests or do you already have one?
I tell you, hilarious. It's a great picture.
Bring out your dead bottles.
Bring out your dead.
Amy.
When we kick one, I usually say dead soldier, and it's probably inappropriate to say it these days, but I don't mean any disrespect to actual soldiers out there. It's simply a bartender's term of use, after all. When the bottle is gone, it's just such a shame. I believe you want to send it off with an American flag. You know?
I believe the actual quote in the movie was like, do you want a list of the guests that got cockeyed, or do you already have one?
It's a lot of bottles. Honestly, that does resemble our recycle bin, because by the time we're throwing them out, suddenly it's like 4 or 5 handles worth, and it's like, good grief, what went on here? Yeah, well, we run a liquor show, so we run through them. Eh?
The thing is, our neighbors are younger than we are. It reminds me of, I have a very good friend who kind of would say the same thing. Like, she's got all these friends who are a lot younger than her, and they can't drink like her.
Well, there is that quote from...
Oh, Marty, hello, and thank you. Good to see you.
Well, I'm thinking of that quote, which I believe came from the site bumwine.com, where he said, "Your grandmother drank better than you could. You know, she held her liquor better than you can."
Monday's the day after the Super Bowl. I'm sure people will understand. Eric says.
Actually, they really should. One thing says they have a lot of beer cans, but these days it's whatever you've got. Probably a lot of hard seltzer.
Okay, I just want to point, like, you can't see this, but on Love Boat, Gopher is in his skivvies and tied up.
Tied up, and there's the fake gopher.
This is really weird.
Yeah,
I don't remember this episode.
This show gets pretty abstract sometimes. Yeah, there's sort of an SM thing going on here. And then he's got a rubber glove. Oh, I don't know. Want to know what happens next. I'm not so sure about this show.
Has anyone here watched, or are you watching The White Lotus?
Contemporary show. Lots of fun. At a resort area.
It's set at a resort in Hawaii.
And it's just like 3 different scenarios with like a family, a couple, and then a single woman. And they're all like just screwed up.
Yeah, Gettysburg Mama's right, Lisa. They probably couldn't hang out with you. So funny. Yeah, I'm just curious if anyone has watched or is watching The White Lotus, because we were rolling. It's 6 episodes.
It's an awards contender, so we're watching so that you could actually pronounce upon it. And it's really
nuts.
It's really screwed up.
It's a very, really, very, very dark comedy.
Really screwed up. And I say that.
Okay, Amy tried but didn't like the characters. I just love Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah.
I would watch Jennifer Coolidge do anything.
The family is pretty unlikable.
Oh, well, the family's unlikable, and the guy with the newlyweds, like, the guy is insane.
Prick.
Yes.
Total prick. So I hear that. You know, if you don't like the characters, why are you watching this? And I think, I like the MC of the whole thing. Well, he has really got problems, and he does not deal with them well. But
the resort manager.
Hilarious scenarios ensue. Yeah. And there's a thing. And
he steals the girl's backpack full of drugs and starts doing all of them.
But the gal from the salon actually grounds a lot of the episodes. And I think there's always got to be a voice of reason and ration in this whole thing. And she is.
I'm just afraid she's going to get her heart broken.
People are not going to listen to her because. And I think that's the case with a lot of literature and a lot of,
Well, you've got
narrative.
her, the one who runs the spa. You root for her and the son in the family.
Yeah.
Who, like, the sister is horrible and the sister's friend is horrible.
He's kind of okay because son, he starts developing an interest.
Yeah.
In things that are a little more organic to his surroundings.
He loses his phone and starts having to, like, be in life. And
he starts kind of improving things. No one else loses a phone, and they're still all stuck in their old private places. So it's one of these things without a lot of likable characters. And I would say, frankly, I've heard people say that about shows like Mad Men. And we watched that and found it compelling. And again, a lot of characters were just really screwed up.
Well, yeah.
Now, I don't watch shows to watch people who are screwed up. That sounds like reality TV. But I will watch compelling drama. And that I thought actually delivered it. And I think this one does too. And if it doesn't float your boat, watch something else.
We don't know about screwed up, but I know that you don't write... Oh, Eric's asking, have you heard of The Back Rooms? No, I haven't. No. Mm-mm. Okay, wait, hold on.
Yeah. I'm still landing on the day after Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, they don't write drama or comedy about people who are well-adjusted usually. Or if they do, it's like they're no one's gonna watch them.
You could say that's typical.
No one's gonna watch something about people who are well-adjusted.
Getting along. It starts to sound like that Simpsons episode where Marge decides that Itchy and Scratchy are too violent, so she starts writing episodes, and they become like very peaceful. And the kids give up, and they start like
that sucks.
Re-entering the world, and they're like, "What's this strange burning orb?" You know. And
Aaron's watching Mad Men.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's compelling series. You know what else he created, and that was itself a compelling series. I've only seen like maybe an episode or two of Sopranos, but that actually held people's attention for years. And Madman actually, ran a full course and completed an arc.
Amy says I did watch Boba Fett. I haven't watched that, but
Boba finally gets his due. If you're old enough,
I just love Jennifer Coolidge so much.
if you're of a certain age, you remember Star Wars toys when before the second picture was released, you could get like a Boba Fett toy, and you had to be pretty geeky to know what that was at the time. But if you were into it and you got that, of course, if you were smart, you got two, and you kept one mint in the package. And years later, you sold it for $1,000.
Because what kid is going to do that?
Yeah, right. So no, that didn't happen. But I knew kids with the Star Wars toys. I actually at one point found a few at a yard sale, and I had them for years. And then finally, I said, "Why do I have this?" I found a Star Wars fan that we know, and said, "You need this. I don't." So he was happy with that.
Who was that?
That was John, as a matter of fact. He was a big Star Wars guy.
Now wait, what was this that you found?
I found a Stormtrooper. Yeah, one of the miniatures about that tall, little plastic guys.
I don't even remember that.
I did not have those when I was a kid. There was a toy called Mac Men that was about the same size that I played with. They had that.
Oh, Lisa started watching Mad Men again too. Okay, people are watching Mad Men.
Oh, there we go. A return to.
Oh yeah, the old '60s commercials. Yeah, yeah. No, they wouldn't fly today. A lot of them.
The one thing I do appreciate about the series is the depth of detail. We actually saw after the show completed its run. There was an exhibit that traveled around and managed to get to the Museum of Moving Image in Astoria. So we actually went, and I think, did you get us into that because you're a member of the union?
I can get in for free.
Thumbs up for that. And I tell you, there was a really great exhibit, and you were looking at things like Don's business cards. And they actually had really good-looking period fonts, and they got the details right. Oh, yeah. And then they had like a check from Chemical Bank for Don Draper. And it was like, this looks good. It was just like that level of detail on things that you barely see in this series. I thought that's dedication.
Oh, Eric's talking about a short, Backrooms, a short film. Well, we're actually producing a short film. I can't say any more about it right now, but Paul and I are producing a short film, which will be finished this year. That's all I can say so far.
It's on schedule.
It will be produced, finished, in the world this year. So yes, I'm very interested in watching short films of all sorts.
Yes, please. Interesting to see. I think about production, and I think when you're done, I frequently use the term, we got it in the can. That just sounds so wrong these days. And it's an anachronism because nobody has to put a piece of film in a can anymore.
Nope.
There is no film. There is no can. There is a hard drive. Your hard drive is probably not even a hard drive anymore. It's just solid state memory. So it's just a bunch of processors. Interesting.
But there's a lot to do. Short films don't spontaneously produce themselves. So.
Short films are nothing more than long films that take a lot less money and a smaller crew. But the actual process to make them is exactly the same and will take a proportionate number of days, personnel, equipment, and money. And that's it.
Yep.
You could say, oh, well, this is easy. It's exactly the same steps as doing some big Hollywood thing with fewer people.
Oh, Lisa loves short films. I do too.
Yep.
I do too.
There's a ton of shorts being made these days just because content is the thing.
Oh, yeah.
We're here delivering content to you right now.
Well, there are all kinds of short film festivals
and every actor out there for years has been like, oh, I'm just waiting for somebody to give me a role. Yeah, well, these days they're all producing.
Nope, you got to write your own.
You got to write your own. So they're all writing, they're producing, they're finding materials, they're optioning. I think isn't that like the MO from Reese Witherspoon? And she reads a ton of books. And she's like, I like this. And then
she just like buys the rights to everything.
She'll actually start optioning these things. And it's like, oh, this would be good for me. Well, there's her role. She makes her role. She finds the role. She makes the role.
It's so interesting to me because I'm like binge watching movies now because since I'm a member of SAG, I get to vote on the SAG Awards. So I get screeners for all the movies. So I start watching them. And the thing I've been noticing is how many actors who are nominated produce their own films.
That number is quite high.
Yeah. So this idea of like, oh, and you'll just be a star and you won't have to do anything but be an actor. Like, no.
Long gone.
Yeah.
The parallel idea.
If you want to be an actor, you better start producing.
The parallel idea that, like, well, if you do it yourself, it doesn't count is totally out the window. That was a stupid idea to begin with. And the simple fact is, these days, everybody is producing own content. And might as well. You might as well be
Oh, Dan, hi. Dan, we're going to be in touch with you about this film, actually. So we were just talking about this morning.
Yeah, we might have a discussion.
Oh, thank you, but thank you for being excited.
Yep. Oh, yeah,
I'm excited too, and terrified because I've never produced a film. So
we have produced music videos before. If you go up on the YouTubes, you will find them all. It's not hard, and they're a lot of fun.
We got to hire people and hire a cast, and we've got to go through SAG because I'm a union member, and actually.
As of right now, I'm a must join.
I don't think he's going to be in it, but...
That doesn't mean I'm going to be in this film or must be in this film.
But anyway...
That means if I want to work on a SAG production, I need to join the union. Just because of the work I did in the past
Eric,
year.
I'm going to look for this film. This sounds very interesting.
If it is, by the way, if it is news to any of you right now that we have some music videos out there, hi thee to YouTube and check it out.
Yeah, I was talking about the detail is getting outstanding in current movies. Yes, because you can't get away with it now. You can't get away with anything now.
Oh, geez, yeah. Like, that's what they did at the time. I think they shot that... well, actually, I don't know where they shot Clays Heroes. I know that was released the same year as Patton, which was shot in Spain. So they were using whatever Spain had at the time. I'm sure if you are a military historian, you take a look, you're like, that's not German, that's not U.S., that's totally wrong. That's not an M1. Boom, boom. The details all like totally out to lunch. I think the only thing they might have gotten right about Patton was blood and guts, but and there was plenty of that, right?
I've seen Patton, but it's been a really, really long time.
Still a compelling picture, and I would actually say put that on a double bill with MASH, a very different kind of war picture made at the same exact time. That's kind of fun. Apparently, President Nixon used to scream Patton endlessly at the White House Theater. And I think, yes, memories of a different war.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
That's one of those things, I don't know, if it's on, I would just start watching Patton. It's kind of compelling. Yeah. It's got a great theme. His name is Jerry Goldsmith. And it's got a lot of really good action. And the character is a real SOB, but he's compelling.
Now, when I think about Nixon, I think about the movie Dick.
That's what I think about. Not
Honestly.
Not the film Nixon or even Frost Nixon. We kind of think Dick.
I think Dick.
Dick is hilarious and well worth your time. It's a fantasy based on historical things, and honestly,
hold on.
It's probably about as accurate as anything that's true. So there you go. I'm trying to think. Yeah. Who is...
The other one I'm thinking of.
Patton is Frankenheimer, like well-known sort of action director. And MASH is Altman, who actually had a tendency to let people just improvise lines, which the entire film is.
The other one I'm thinking
I recommend both of them. They're two great war pictures, I gotta say.
Hold on.
We're going past Evil Dead. Now that's a fun reference.
No,
just in the
because
midst
I'm
of
trying to
all this
remember
sort of
the
thing.
other one I think of when I think of Nixon.
What's this fun little nerve of Evil Dead, you know? Another Evil Dead. Oh, I'm trying to remember this.
Hold on.
Oh, okay. I see where you're looking.
You see what I'm looking up, right?
I see you're looking up. So there we go.
I'm trying to remember the name of the other one I think of when I think of Nixon. Do you remember?
Was that Bubba Hotep? Isn't that Bruce Campbell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Bubba Hotep.
That's what you're thinking.
Yes. Yeah.
Itself a hilarious kind of horror picture featuring an historical Elvis and ancient Egyptian horror.
Yes.
That's about all you need to know to look that one up. I thought it was pretty entertaining. We thought it was pretty entertaining.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
So, and I got to say, for the budget that they had and the characters that they had, it's well done. Bruce Campbell has more than acquitted himself on screen. Well past the Evil Dead series.
Hi,
but,
Nick Nack. Good to see you.
Those have their merits, too. That's the stuff. Nick Nack. Woohoo! So.
Oh, Anthony Hopkins one. Wait, which one is that?
That was the one I'm thinking of. Nixon by...
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I forget the director now.
Yeah. What's it? Oliver Stone?
Oliver Stone.
Yeah.
Oliver Stone's
Yeah.
Nixon,
Okay.
Anthony Hopkins.
Yep.
Right. Haven't seen that. I appreciate Oliver Stone picks. He is,
oh my gosh.
He is very broad. His pictures are very expensive and bloated, but there's frequent entertainment going on there.
Oh, Amy, that sounds great. Amy says, I went to a consignment store that gets its product from films in New England. They keep stuff to rent to new productions, but sell off stuff as well. Wow. That's fun.
We actually, when one of our music videos features a crate that is like a rum crate, and that came from a TV show, and I forget which show it was.
Boardwalk Empire?
Was it Boardwalk Empire?
Yeah.
So I think it came from a boardwalk auction.
Yeah.
And we actually asked our hosts for, like, we're interested in some props. And they said, well, we have this crate. And we took a look. We're like, done.
That was East Coast Chris had that.
Oh, Chris had that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. He also provided the boat that's used out.
No, that was Alyssa.
Alyssa provided the boat.
It was from her work.
I don't know anything. So anyway.
Don't talk. Just don't speak.
Don't speak.
That shoot never would have happened without our friends.
No, it would not. Topper? Not much.
Yes, please.
Not much of a topper. So
good thing we got more.
You might as well kill it.
We were smart this time and bought extra bottles.
You gotta have extra bubbles, particularly at a party. The simple rules of party going with drinks are in fact simple and finite. I'm thinking of Elle Woods here.
Speaking of Elle Woods. Speaking of Reese Witherspoon.
Speaking of Reese Witherspoon. And if you want to know what the formula is, just find yourself a copy of like the Esquire bar guide from the 50s, and it will tell you how many guests equal how many bottles, equal how many bottles of bubbles, how many bottles of mixer, and how much ice. The simple fact is, however much ice you think you need, double that, and you'll be good.
Which is usually the advice,
it's
quite frankly.
Typically the advice, yeah. You will use all of that ice.
Yep.
If you think, 2 bags, no, about 6. Seriously. So there's like...
Well, that doesn't last.
Yeah, that does not last.
I could use more coffee and another bottle of bubbles.
Well, I tell you what. Let's start with the coffee, and then let's go with the bubbles. Okay. Here we go.
Oh, I don't know why I keep letting him get up, but...
If you feel like getting up, let us know.
Comfortable right here.
Oh, I'll take that bottle too. Why not? I'm going away for a moment.
It's like, I don't see it. There it is.
There it is.
I like Sunday. All right, I think I'm all caught up here. Yeah, we recently watched a movie with Bruce Campbell because I was a background person in it. So he's doing Hallmark movies these days, just FYI. But it was fun. It was a good movie. So it was a Christmas movie. Did you like One December Night?
Me?
Yes.
Yes, I did. I thought it was well presented.
It was called One December Night.
It's a Hallmark picture. There's such a thing as Hallmark acting. If that drives you nuts, you're not going to like it. But if you can actually say, look, I can sit back and just enjoy this for what it is. It's supposed to be this sort of heartwarming thing which features a certain amount of conflict. And it features musicians who've been disagreeing for years, etc. So actually, that may be familiar to people too. And I thought that the principles were well played. I thought it was well cast.
Well, we watched it at Christy and Jeff's house because we don't actually have Hallmark Channel.
No Hallmark Channel.
And the first time we watched it, I just completely fell asleep. Christy's like poking me, going like, "You're on the screen. Wake up!" I'm like,
forget it.
I lived it.
We saw it again.
But then I did finally see it. So.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. It's your birthday. Let Paul wait on you. Okay, I will.
Hey, that's a good idea.
I love it. Oh boy, I'm getting business messages on a Sunday.
Well,
that's weird.
That's okay
that's
if you can
weird.
react by Monday.
I'm not going to respond right now.
No, and that's wise.
Yeah. I'm going to plug in the computer though because
power
I want to die.
Here goes power.
I wish I could show you all what's going on Love Boat because.
Yeah.
Oh, Errol says we like Sundays too, but we like Saturdays better because we don't have a Monday the next day. Oh.
I hear you, kids.
I know.
That needs heat.
Wait. Shouldn't the coffee have been staying hot?
Yeah, it should have.
First world problems. Well, you could bring over the other bubbles while I wait.
That's a very good idea, too.
Okay, Eric's been watching some concerts on YouTube. Watched a concert of Mannheim's Steamroller that was not Christmas themed, okay? What have I been watching lately? Well, I've been watching White Lotus. I have one episode left. We've been watching Ted Lasso. We're about halfway through season 2. I watched The Tender Bar the other day, which was, I liked it. It's very classic Hollywood, I'll put it that way. Eyes of Tammy Faye. That's hilarious. I'm sorry. She's so good. Jessica Chastain is so good as Tammy Faye. We watched Don't Look Up. All of them. Oh, Coda. You music people out there, if you haven't seen Coda, I recommend that one. What else have I watched? A lot. You're like Garfield when it comes to Mondays. I love it. Lisa's assuming Paul will dote on me. He better dote on me. Get ready for some doting. What else have I seen? Oh, House of Gucci. Speaking of Gucci, I liked that one. Apparently the critics did not, but I enjoyed it. What else have I watched? Passing, which I thought the performances were really good. Oh, gosh, I've got to watch all of them. Oh, The Lost Daughter. Everyone loves The Lost Daughter. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch. Power of the Dog is hard to watch too.
Series or movie?
These are both movies.
Okay. Did you mention Tick Tick Boom?
Oh, Tick Tick Boom. Yeah, you Broadway people. If you haven't watched Tick Tick
would
Boom,
really enjoy
you gotta
this.
watch that.
I think it's very well done.
But I think movie people gotta watch Coda.
And features a lot of music that you're probably not that familiar with.
Oh, Eric's been watching The Lost Symbol.
Quite well known.
I don't even know that. There's so much content out there.
There's
so much content out there.
Guess what, kids? There's a ton of content.
Which is good, especially if you're an actor.
We're producing some content right here, right now.
If you're an actor, it's good that there's a lot of content.
Yeah, it's kind of awesome.
Errol Dotes. Oh, I love that. Yeah, Power of the Dog is really hard to watch. I thought Lost Daughter was hard to watch too. What else? I gotta see a list. I think I have like 5 more to watch before I can vote. I don't bother trying to watch all of the TV, but if I haven't watched everything in a category, I won't vote. Thank you.
That's very honest of you.
So, I know. So I'm watching The White Lotus because I really wanted to see it because it's Jennifer Coolidge and we don't have HBO. But I'm not going to vote in that category unless I've seen all the performances.
Maybe you will. Who knows?
I know. My aunt one time called me a goody two-shoes, and I guess I am.
Yeah.
I just remember one time she was like, "You're such a goody two-shoes." I'm like, "Yeah, maybe." No. Maybe. And then there are all these films nominated. I'm like, why do I have access to this? And it's because stunts. Because SAG-AFTRA has a stunts category. I'm like, well, I'm definitely not watching all of those.
Yeah.
So.
And
so I won't vote in that category. But also, I'm not qualified to vote on stunts. How am I going to say, like, oh, the stunts in that movie were incredible? I don't know. I don't know what goes into doing stunts.
You really have to have a very distinct distinction between stunts and CGI and be able to tell that. And if you have a better done CGI, it could be kind of tough.
I know.
But you can take a look at something like a Bond picture and say, well, back in the day, that would have all been some very elaborate stunts. You know, skiing off a mountain and then parachuting. Yeah, sure. That kind of thing.
Well, No Time to Die is nominated for stunts, and I'll watch it because I have free access, but I probably won't be voting in that category.
Saw a bit from that, or saw just like a second from that. It appears he's driving around in an Aston Martin DB5. So, well, there we go. Back to the Bond car. That's a big thing.
Okay, Lost Symbol would have been another part of the Da Vinci Code franchise. I read the first 2 of those.
Okay.
Have we seen the movie?
No, I haven't.
I've read the books.
You might have seen the movie.
I've read the books. I don't think I've seen the movie.
I have not read those historical novels. What, Angel of Mercy, or was it Angel of Death? And
Julie, yes, I'm with you, Julie. Like, there are so many movies that are so well done, but I can only watch once, especially when they're distressing. Yes, there are a lot of movies that I'm so uncomfortable. I'm like, will this be over soon? And it's because they're so hard to watch. But
12 Years a Slave is a
we don't need to talk about
very appropriate bit of historical information. This, frankly, a little overlooked.
It's important, but it's hard to watch.
Worth seeing once anyway. It's so hard to watch more than that. You might actually look up the novel on which it was based, because that...
well, it's not a novel.
It's actually a
memoir.
True to life memoir, that's the truth be told. And apparently was like very popular in his day, and is a little obscured these days. Yeah. But that's a fun little bit of history. By fun, I'm saying that very ironically. So...
yeah, I was going to say, it's not that fun.
There's all sorts of fun bits of history out there, and we don't need to go into detail, but they don't need to be overlooked either. So,
yeah, there are a lot of movies that are hard to watch. 12 Years a Slave is very hard to watch. Exactly.
It's
getting some agreement for that is hard.
It's pretty tough, and I was glad to have seen it once, because it's a great ensemble cast. It's well played, and they actually display their characters, who are really historical characters, well. Yeah. So that's the important part.
Well, it's like Power of the Dog is hard to watch because Benedict Cumberbatch is just so cruel. He's just so mean.
Son of a bitch.
He's so mean. Like, oh wow, hard to watch.
Kind of deserves what he gets, doesn't he?
Well, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I will say that it had a twist ending I really enjoyed.
You don't try.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it. I will take your word.
Yeah. No, I know. I've only seen it once too. But... oh, Spencer. Yeah. I did a retreat yesterday, and they were talking about Spencer. So everyone is loving Spencer.
Right.
Yeah.
There's the thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, Amy was mentioning that.
Once again, a ton of content out there. It's very hard to keep track of all of it, except
There's
that
so much.
You need to. So we actually kind of do. We are seeing a little of everything. You're seeing more than I am. I've got a lot of projects around here. But
if I get an audition for something, I try to watch at least one episode
of said series,
so that I know, like.
So you have a clue.
Well, this, you know, I'm not going to say it. But
close shut on that one.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it. But I have seen some shows I never would have seen because I.
Yep. Well, you know, for a long time, I think we didn't watch some of these things, and then you start taking a look and saying, "Hey, they're well done series."
Yep.
It was something I was reading fairly recently, talking about television.
Oh, Eric's saying the movie AI was good. Don't think I'd return to it though. Yeah, there's so many I wouldn't return to.
Mm-hmm. Don't Look Up is.
I love Don't Look Up. I'm sorry, I will watch that again because that is hilarious.
Fairly disturbing in a contemporary sense, because you're here, you're living it right now. And
That Thing You Do. Have you seen that?
Have not seen That Thing You Do.
Yeah, no, we got to watch that.
That's a real obvious one for me.
Yeah.
And there's another one that was a music movie. I got to think about that title. Give me a second. I tell you, these things come to me much later in the conversation. Earlier in this conversation, we were talking about sci-fi pictures, and I was comparing DS9 to something, and I couldn't remember the name. And I was thinking, kind of a junky outpost in the middle of space. Reminds me a bit of Dark Star. I'm like,
yeah, I like Dark Star.
Yeah, Dark Star is hilarious, and DS9 occasionally was hilarious, but it was a drama. And it was kind of like this like jerkwater outpost. That's what it was. Part of the appeal to me of DS9. And I think they were kind of a little secondary to the Federation, so that was kind of interesting.
Amy watched Being the Ricardos. Yeah, I thought they were good. I definitely thought they were good, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, the characters are well drawn, and they're well displayed. The two Ricardos.
We're gonna watch it, Gettysburg Mail.
Like really pretty spot on. And the scenarios that they're playing are largely historical. So.
Oh, what is that on, Eric? Leverage Redemption. What is that even on? I've never even heard of it.
I tell you, we start talking series and suddenly everything comes out of the woodwork. People are putting series up on Hulu. People are putting series up on
Everywhere.
YouTube. People are putting
Amazon.
series up on Amazon, on
Apple TV, Disney Plus,
Vimeo. We are currently broadcasting.
HBO.
We are currently broadcasting via Vimeo. This is not a Vimeo series. Nobody's paying us for anything, but we're broadcasting.
Well, it's going to disappear from Vimeo though, because we don't have the memory card in the camera.
True too.
If you don't have the memory card in the camera, it doesn't back up to Vimeo.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we could clear that memory card and back up everything. I didn't realize that. I thought we were just backing it up to our own, you know?
No.
I'll take a look at the specs on that. So, I mean, if they're going to archive my stuff, then fine. I'd rather have.
I'm not sure this particular broadcast needs to be kept for posterity.
Oh, who knows?
Like Planet of the Apes. Thing. People are going to find it like years from now.
Years
like,
later.
Oh, wait,
this doll talks. What does that mean?
All right, that thing you do. I remember that coming out because I think I might have been working at the archive at the time.
It's it's a whole movie about the '60s band being managed by a particular guy. I think Tom Hanks is the manager.
Well, yeah, and I guess he wrote the music.
So, fun. Okay. I don't know. Kind of fun. Yeah, and that's just like it's a real nostalgic look at a particular period of time where that kind of group would.
Okay. You can stream it for free on IMDb. See.
Oh.
And Amazon owns IMDb, so
bang zoom.
It's part of the Amazon empire.
Well, we're already paying for that Prime thing. We might as well get some more free content, I would say. If you pay for it, it's not free.
So many ways to get money out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have IMDb Pro.
Might as well get some more content out of them.
More money going to Amazon.
Might as well get more content out of them, I say. So, the other film I'm thinking of that was like a similar one. That wasn't really similar, but it was a music bio around the period of That Thing You Do.
Oh, Respect! I watched that one too.
Oh, true.
The Aretha Franklin one.
That's very well done.
Yeah. Yep.
That's very well done, and really great performances, and good concert sequences, and another good ensemble cast. Really, there are a lot of characters in her life that do various things. Some of them pretty positive, some of them not so positive.
Incredibly negative.
So that's displayed, and where does the artist get inspiration, and what does the artist have to overcome? And there you go. I was just listening, in fact, to Aretha at the Fillmore West recently, because that's another one of these surround sound albums I've got, and I'm like, this is a great record. She really sells it. And that was slightly unusual for the Fillmore at the time, and that audience is really lit up. Because, hell, it's Aretha.
Well, what were you going to say? Then I'm going to ask people about their feel-good movies, because Katie Thurmiam said just a solid feel-good movie. So I want to hear about people's feel-good movies, because we could all use a feel-good movie.
I'm going to grab my phone and do some research. I can't even begin to figure out what the hell I'm talking about. How about that? How about that?
I can't even begin to figure out what the hell I'm talking about.
So
I just want to stitch that on a pillow.
Let's give you some help.
I can look it up. What should I be searching on?
I don't know.
Oh, well.
That's what I'm talking about.
Got to be more specific than that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not very much to go.
I'll bring up IMDb Pro.
There we go. Sorry to fub you all, folks, but I got to find some information.
All right. I want to hear about people's feel-good movies. Or TV shows.
This is one of these deals where I have to think of the
I Love Lucy. Oh, okay.
Got to think of the character and the actor and who else was in a different picture with that actor, and then I'll be able to back my way into it. My recent search is Bubba Hotep and Valley Girl.
Valley Girl.
Fantastic.
All right, so Lisa says I Love Lucy. All right. It could be TV shows too. Movie and TV shows. Sneakers, okay. Eric's saying Sneakers. The Gods Must Be Crazy, good one. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like when you've had the worst day and you just want to put something on, like what do you reach for? I will share mine. I think, do you have any? I feel like Paul reaches for music more than video.
I'm usually listening to, while I'm working, I'm listening to music all day long. I can't watch.
Legally Blonde, that's mine. Mom said Legally Blonde, that's mine.
Legally Blonde is a great go-to because it's a good journey.
Elle Woods is my spirit animal.
It's a good journey. I mean, she starts out with this like one concept of how life is going to be, and that gets thrown to the wind.
Yep.
And she has to scramble to figure out what's next.
Well, I'm like Elle Woods.
Well, she does.
In the sense that, like...
She picks it up and goes.
Tell me I can't do something, and I'm like... The quickest way to get me to do something is tell me you don't think I can do it.
I mean, you know, this is what plot number 15 and
Breakfast
17
at Tiffany's
is the character who doesn't believe in self and then has to figure out how to believe in self, and then she does and works with it. And this is what happens.
Breakfast at Tiffany's or How to Marry a Millionaire.
Tiffany's.
Those are great.
Tiffany's
love it.
Tiffany's is very bittersweet.
Jumpin' Jack Flash, love it.
Pretty awesome theme to Tiffany's, and actually the entire score is one of my favorites. It's great stuff. I know, it makes you weep.
It does.
Because of Moon River.
It makes me weep even.
Because of Moon River. But I tell you, the rest of the score is like all cha-chas. I mean, something for Cat.
Oh, I know.
Just saying. Look up Little Mancini for you. Hank is incredibly hard to beat.
I mean, if I need to laugh. Oh, Bringing Up Baby. That's a good one, too.
Oh,
yay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always about the Thin Man movies. Those are good for me. Mr. Blandings builds his dream house.
All 6 Thin Man pictures are worth your time.
And I will always reach for a Zucker Brothers film if I really need to laugh. Airplane.
Yeah.
Naked Gun. Yeah.
If I were to throw on one picture at random points in time, just for like good solid
Monsters Inc. I love it.
For good solid entertainment and a bit of drama and just some fantastic.
Oh, CoverGirl, yep.
Comedy. I would say Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb.
Dr. Strangelove is great, but I don't know if I find it comforting.
I didn't say anything about comforting.
We're talking about comfort food here.
Actually, maybe I do find it comforting. I don't know. Maybe I just got a little dark humor.
I guess you know how it's going to end.
Yeah, you certainly do. Well, you know how it probably ends, and what do you know it does? And there, of course, is
Hi, Marty.
Oh,
the Three Stooges. That's perfect. I love it. Well, good to see you, Marty. And yes, I'm loving Three Stooges. This is a suggestion.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about, you knuckleheads?
Buckaroo Banzai. Yes. Yes. History of the World Part 1. Yes. See, here we go.
That's pretty comforting.
I love it.
There's the remake of
Dumb and Dumber.
There is both the original To Be or Not to Be and the remake of To Be or Not to Be. Actually, both worth your time. That's surprising.
Errol says Dumb and Dumber. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel I have an average intellect.
Idiocracy, not exactly comforting. Hilarious. Hilarious, not comforting.
Well, they talk about Don't Look Up, a movie which I actually love, but they're like, it's this year's Idiocracy, and I'm like, yes, it is. I don't find it comforting, but it's hilarious. Oh, hi, Cynthia. Big Trouble in Little China. I love it. Yes.
I remember the title. Never saw the picture. Yeah. Wasn't that Sean Penn and Madonna? Or am I looking of a different couple?
I remember. I was working at the archive when that came out, so I remember it. Oh. Lisa says, I've actually bought jewelry from Tiffany since the 80s for my daughter for an inheritance. Oh, 9 to 5. 9 to 5. I love 9 to 5.
That's,
love it.
Sort of a classic revenge picture now, isn't it?
I've been working on songs from the Broadway musical 9 to 5.
Musical 9 to 5.
Yep.
Yeah, which are very different.
Yep.
Very different from the picture. But a lot of fun.
Idiocracy. It has electrolytes, exactly.
Wait a minute. Water.
Eric
you mean
says,
like from the toilet?
Eric says my geeky favorite, Moog. Have you watched that one?
We've watched Moog.
Okay.
Yeah, we watched a Moog documentary.
That's a documentary. Yeah.
I will tell you. The great thing about Moog is that if you have a theater sound system installed, you finally get to hear your subwoofers for real. Like, we don't have subwoofers. We just have big woofers, and like those were finally kicking it out during Moog because of the low frequency extension. Yeah, Moog is fun. I went to college at...
Some Like It Hot's a good one, too.
My college actually had a Model 1 modular Moog because one of the professors was Herb Deutsch. Does that ring any bells?
Cynthia, good luck with clearing out the house. I know how that is. I saw you posted on a different page about that. Yeah, put on some movies. I like to put them on in the background, so even if I'm not watching, if you've seen it enough times, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just remember, it has electrolytes.
Rondo, it's got electrolytes. I have a funny story about that I'm not going to tell right here. PM me. But I remember also a distinct refrain from that picture. Why don't you just use water? Water? Like from the toilet?
You mean like from the toilet? Well, it's a refrain. It keeps coming back.
Oh, this is much further back.
Oh, Christmas Story. Gettysburg is my fave. I was thinking about, Christmas movies. So I was thinking when I'm decorating this house for Christmas, I tend to just put movies on repeat. And I've added a few in recent years. I'm always about Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, which I know is controversial here, but I love it.
I don't think it's that controversial.
No, some people hate it, but I love it. But I've recently added Bad Moms Christmas.
That's another one that people probably could hate, and I would tell you it's hilarious.
Eric's guilty pleasure, Barbarella. I love Barbarella.
Barbarella's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
It's got really pretty terrible special effects, but it's fun. It's fun as hell. And it's just this wild 60s fantasy. And of course, there's a whole score that's a Bob Crew thing. It's really cool.
I'm just thinking about her spaceship with like the shag carpeted walls.
It's basically built for, well, I don't need to tell you what it's built for. You've seen the picture. So, but that's fun. And as a matter of fact, I remember looking for that score for a long time. It's not that easy to find. And that it turned up in a box of records that somebody gave us. And I said, oh, I'm taking that along. Yep, but definitely.
Oh, Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy. I haven't seen it with Eddie Murphy, actually. Okay.
We've just seen the other Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
Jerry
Lewis, yeah.
Widely seen as Jerry Lewis.
Oh, Midsummer Murders.
But, that's debatable. I will say that Nutty does have a great scene in the bar where he orders a drink. And if you haven't seen that, look it up.
Oh, yeah.
I forget what Pangalactic Gargle Blaster he orders, but it's absurd. And, of course, it causes the bartender to fall over.
Yeah, hold on.
Pretty hilarious. Frequently, noted as a takeoff of Dean Martin. Not true. He's taking off Frank Sinatra.
It's the... Hold on. I know what you're talking about.
I think I finally know what I'm talking about. Yes, I do. Jeez, that took forever. My apologies to the actress. I just completely forgot this title. But if we're talking about...
Alaskan Polar Bear Heater.
The Alaskan...
That's it, yeah.
Okay, here we go. Here's the formula.
2 shots of vodka, little rum, some bitters, a smidgen of vinegar, a shot of vermouth, a shot of gin, a little brandy.
And that's not all. I think we might have made this once.
Maybe we did.
Maybe we need to make it again on air because it's hideous. It's a really terrible
Now idea. And Then. I haven't seen Now and Then. Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Pardon me. The film I'm thinking of that's a sort of a biopic type picture. I think it's a fictionalized sort of thing about a 60s pop singer. Was Grace of My Heart with Ileana Douglas. Now that we've not seen, and I think that's an oversight. That actually looks interesting and well done. And I would say that's probably...
What happened to her?
Well, that's a good question. She might have been one of those actresses who wouldn't, with...
Hi, Dean.
So...
Alaskan Polar Bear Cooler.
Thank you,
Dean. Is it a cooler or a heater?
It's a heater. You just looked it up. It's an Alaskan
Polar Bear
all right.
Heater. Yep. But you are, we're on the same wavelength here.
Yeah. To look her up on IMDb, still working. So she never went away. That's what happened with her. But I think she's great. I remember seeing her in, was it To Die For with Nicole, the aforementioned Nicole Kidman. And that was, oh man.
I remember that.
Based on a true story. So, one of those little, true crime, homicidal kind of things. Big fun. I thought she was very good in that. So I would like to see her in Grace of My Heart. which I think is sort of loosely based on these 60s Phil Spector type singers, because they've got a very Phil Spector-esque character in this thing. Spector himself is fascinating, complicated, and slightly homicidal. So,
Nicole Kidman was born in Honolulu.
Honolulu.
I did not know that.
Yeah, check her age too. Didn't realize that either.
I know.
How about that?
I know, but I gotta hold on. I'm looking for what movie am I thinking of with Nicole Kidman? It was sort of the one that I sort of first.
To Die For?
Am I thinking of To Die For?
Or
Malice.
Might be Malice.
I think I might be thinking of Malice. That was kind of the first one I saw with her.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. This conversation has turned sort of actor geeky.
Slightly actor geeky. Sorry about all of the SAG-AFTRA going on there, folks.
Oh, hi, Amanda, and thank you.
Boom.
Thank you.
Who made the sofa?
This is from the Christopher Knight collection. Yes, that Christopher Knight.
That Christopher Knight.
Peter on the Brady Bunch.
There are a number of contemporary brands that will do a sort of a vintagey look like this. Some of them are priced up. And are they cool? Yeah, they're really, really cool. This was much more reasonable, so I recommend the Christopher Knight collection. And you probably want to take a look into that. So,
Errol says, Lisa loves Midsummer Murders. We should never visit. That area has a very high murder rate. Also, should never follow Angela Lansbury. Everywhere she goes, someone dies suspecting her.
Yeah, Murder, She Wrote is more like Murder, She Caused.
Oh, we need a drink. Okay, yeah, Lisa.
Okay, fine. Murder, She Wrote is kind of more like Murder, She Caused. And yeah, you don't want to be Jessica's friend in that series now, do you? First scene is kind of like a first scene in Columbo. Somebody's about to die.
I'll put an ice cube in my glass.
So that the glass would get cold, not so that you're going to drink it.
It's full of brackish water now.
Well, then toss the ice cube, and then we'll go from there.
You toss the ice cube.
I can do
that.
My
birthday.
Too.
You're supposed to be doting on me. Well, actually, tomorrow's my birthday.
Well, it's your birthday-esque. It's proximate to birthday, and I'm glad to serve. And there you go.
Esque.
What I was saying was that Murder, She Wrote is kind of like watching an episode of Columbo. First scene, somebody dies. Second scene, Spectre Columbo is on the scene there, anyway, sorry I'm late. Where's my cigar?
Columbo. I was so depressed when we ran out of Columbo episodes, but the entire series. When we watched the last one, I was like, we should just start over.
The series ran, because it was an occasional series, it ran so long that it was still, the final Columbo episode was produced the year we moved into the house. Dig that. We've only been here 20
Eric
years.
is saying, here's a weird question. You into vampires at all? I would say I'm casually into vampires.
Yeah. I can't say extensively. We did manage to see the 1922 Nosferatu in a movie theater with organ. That cool.
Was great.
That's very cool.
My coffee's gone too.
Yep. We have actually seen, I believe.
So much for doting.
I believe you saw it too, but you might not have. There was the Coppola Dracula, which I thought was well done.
I saw that. Did I see that with you?
You might have seen that with me.
Might have been before I met you.
That was well done. There is the 1931 with Lugosi, which of course is a classic.
Yep.
There's Lugosi in Spanish, which I haven't seen, which is apparently a lot more racy. Then there's, what else was what I can say about vampires? The Fearless Vampire Killers.
Oh, yeah.
Have not seen that. Really should actually put that on the list. That's kind of a comedy. There is Andy Warhol's Dracula, actually directed by Paul Morrissey, because Andy didn't direct anything ever. He had a camera. And that is
all I could think of was Paul
Sting very graphic and extremely low level acting. So you want to put that on a double bill with the Warhol Frankenstein, because that's your bill right there. And I'm trying to think of what else in vampires and whatnot.
All I could think of was Paul Sting and Neil Morrissey.
Paul Sting and Neil Morrissey, absolutely. Yeah, that's the good. What do you think you are anyway?
What was that? Crowded House.
Guys, Crowded House. Yeah.
So we have this tape, which is probably
at this point
worth at least $12 by now.
No, it must be at least $10. Who knows?
From K-Rock, the radio station in LA.
KROQ. Yep.
They used to put out this Christmas collection every year for charity, and I think this was 93.
2 or 3. It's one of those.
Yeah. My friend sent it to me, who still lived in California, because I always listened to K-Rock, and they had Paul, the 55-year-old intern, who was actually played by, I don't know his name in real life, but Richard Cheese.
It's actually Richard Cheese.
Paul, the 55-year-old intern.
Hilarious.
And they had all these people in there to do these like little radio station promos. And it was like, hi, I'm Paul, and I'm Neil, and we're from Crowded House. He's like, wait. You got to say your last names. It's not like you guys are Paul Sting and Neil Morrissey. So that's all I could think of when you said Morrissey.
Hilarious.
It's not like you guys are Paul Sting and Neil Morrissey.
Friend recently pointed out that Crowded House guys, some of them started out in Split Ends. Didn't realize that. Different New Zealand band. I knew Split Ends. I also know Crowded House.
I knew Split Ends.
Obviously, House had a longer career and more hits and things like that. But yes.
Carol says, there's a new definition of brackish water to present at the office. It's not fresh, slightly salty water. It's water that is low in alcohol content. Exactly.
Boom. Shall we make these a little higher in alcohol content? I don't mind if I do.
Oh, Eric says, I asked because there's a woman who made this series called The Weakness, locally produced, centered around this 400-year-old vampire who has a Billy Idol hair complex. Well, that sounds fun. I would check that out. Amy loves Crowded House. The lady needs a refill. Exactly. Thank you. He did finally get off his tuchus. He cut off his tuchus.
He's got to get off his tuchus.
I'm Eric, and I'm a chin sniffer. That sounds so filthy. Makes me think of the White Lotus, actually. We still have another bottle here we haven't even opened. Ooh, we're over 2 hours on this broadcast. I'm amazed anyone's hanging in. Thank you for hanging in.
Thanks, folks. We're still going strong. I hope you are.
We're still going strong here.
If you have a local liquor delivery service, that might help because you might be getting thirsty for bubbly if you don't have any. All right, next round.
So apparently...
what are you feeling?
Rockula with Tony Pestle is a great comedy vampire flick. Oh, okay, Marty.
Okay.
All right.
I'll take that.
I'm going to check that out. That sounds amazing.
Sounds low budget. I'm not saying that because I think that's your taste, but
well, low budget is
actually that frequently is your taste, so I will take that as for what it is.
Oh, thank you.
I'm thinking other vampire pictures that are sort of comedy vampire pictures. How about Love at First Bite?
Oh yeah.
With George Hamilton. It was pretty hilarious as I recall. Disco Dracula. Now that's
I love the nightlife.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, Disco Round made a big appearance in that picture. There's Dracula on the floor dancing around, and is it St. James who is his foil? I think so, yeah. In that picture,
yeah.
Artie Johnson has a great take as his sidekick, Redfeld, you know. So that's a lot of fun, you know. Dracula in the 70s in New York, and of course 70s New York is pretty gritty. It was. I remember being there at the time, and I remember seeing that picture in the movie theater at the time.
Anyway,
Disco Dracula is kind of unique. It's frankly more palatable than Warhol's Dracula.
I'm not as think as you drunk I am.
What do you go for, young miss? Just asking.
I like the way he called me young.
Yeah, well, you know, also miss.
Called me young.
Not ma'am.
I think I might want to go back to the Cure Royale idea.
Okay, let's find something that works that cure.
Here.
Because
it's right here. It's right here.
We have that, but we have other things over here.
We don't have cassis.
We have blackberry.
All right.
Try some blackberry.
I thought about using that, and then I didn't.
But I didn't.
Bring it.
Some fun things. We also have the Giffard rhubarb.
Oh boy, our family Zoom is going to be really fun later.
Hi everybody. Let me tell you.
Family Zoom.
I could use this ring.
My mom's here, so she knows.
She's just going to stay on, and this will become
our
the Zoom.
Our Sunday family Zoom is going to be like, woohoo, Kelly's loaded.
She's going to stay on the broadcast, and this will suddenly become that Zoom. Bye, everybody. You stay on. There we go. I'm using slightly more than we did with the last, but I will use those bitters again. Actually, I think I'll use the Angostura for these, because I think that's appropriate. Orange would be okay. What's the other one? Cranberry would have been a very good bitters.
All right, so
we're out.
He used blackberry liqueur instead of black currant, which is what we would use for a Kir Royale.
Black currant or
Here
myrrh.
I'm still like, let me tell you how to make this drink.
Like
you care.
You do care. You want to know how to make this thing. A Kir is actually made with the black currant and white wine.
Yep.
You want to make it Royale, you use the bubbly. There you go. It's simple. It's a simple drink. You could use
Dead and Loving It with Leslie Nielsen. Yes.
Oh, there you go. There you go. A little Brooks action.
Yes.
This is about a finger worth. You can use more or less if you like it sweeter or less sweet. There you go. But I think the point is to make this, to have enough of the flavor there to make it pointful that you actually use it.
Yeah, it's the Super Bowl today, isn't it, too?
Oh, yeah. How about that? There's a game going on. There's a game going on right here, a celebration.
Is anyone actually watching the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I'm sure we have a few. I'm sure we have some who are watching the Puppy Bowl.
Oh, the Puppy Bowl.
Yep. You don't say.
I love the Puppy Bowl.
Yes, you do.
Although we don't have cable, so I think I'm going to have to watch the Puppy Bowl after the fact.
Bang! There we go. I like that sound.
Do we have any football fans here?
I'm certain. Well, we have one anyway. I'm certain we have more.
Oh, Eric says, I'm giving myself Reese Cup therapy currently. I might have to have another truffle.
You know?
Just saying.
I could have bought some Reese Cups, although we still have some Reese Cups. So
that's
I can
true. I think we still have some from Christmas.
I can simply fetch the Reese Cups.
Although I was smart. When Christmas was over, I'm like, well, eat all of the green ones because we can keep the red ones for Valentine's Day. So I think we did that.
Which we did.
Oh, hi, Suze. Thank you so much.
Good
to see you. Thank you for dropping by.
And prosit. He also...
Oh, Super Bowl's at 6:30.
Yep.
Okay, Gettysburg Ma'am says, watching the Super Bowl mainly for the commercials.
Well, some people do that.
Oh, okay. Satellite's watching the Puppy Bowl.
Yep. I'm glad to hear the Puppy Bowl's getting
And I know
love.
people are going to watch for the halftime show.
Who was the halftime show this year?
We talked about this in my retreat yesterday, and I don't remember.
Who knows? Gone, Eddie.
I don't remember. I tuned that part out. But people are going to watch for the halftime show. So
I'm thinking of baseball games where you have a contemporary artist come out and sing the anthem. And circa, 1990?
It's going to be people who are really, really famous because it's the Super Bowl. So you have to have really famous people.
Oh, you're going to have some big names. But I remember seeing, because I was just looking for versions of the anthem, and circa 1996 or so, who sang it was Lou Rawls. And boy, did he sell it. So you want to look that up on YouTube.
Eric says, I was watching the Kitten Academy live stream earlier. I would like that too.
Oh, Kitten Academy?
Yep.
Puppy Bowl. Mm-hmm.
I remember that when we had cable, they would have the Puppy Bowl and then the Kitty halftime show. So I would watch that.
That reminds me of...
Eric says, I'm a cautiously optimistic Steeler fan.
Well, cross those fingers, folks, because...
But they're not playing.
Oh, well, then that's not going to work for this bowl.
No.
There you go.
I'm not even going to look. It's the Bengals and the Rams, right?
Anybody?
I'm not a football person at all, but I think
I can't tell.
I think I know that.
I've been distracted with many larger things.
I think I know that.
Somewhere in there is what's that?
All right.
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Hey,
oh, thank you, Lisa.
Yep.
Lisa keeps saying she loves your outfit.
Excellent.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you. I didn't know if I should wear it. It's so like moo-moo-y. I never wear it because it's like, it's just a schmata, but I love the fabric, so thank you.
You tend to wear something a little more form-fitting. But,
I do, but I thought it's Sunday.
But
it's brunch.
That does have a sort of a house dress thing going on to it. And
maybe I'll take it to Ohana.
I coordinated as best I could, which is actually pretty good.
Here I am assuming I'll get Ohana tickets.
Really work. Yeah, you might lose. You never know.
Oh my God, I'm like already anxious. Oh, Bengals and Rams, I got that right.
Bang, there we go. Look at that hot stuff coming through. Boom, 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 boom.
I don't have a dog in that fight, although I did go to a Rams game once when they were in LA. Mm-hmm. They were in LA and then they left LA and they came back to LA. Am I correct?
I can't tell you that.
But I did go to
an actual Rams game
in LA.
I can say I have never been to
when they were in LA before.
I have never been to a professional football game, but by now have seen the two teams in our state, the two New York teams in both of their stadiums. So I've seen 4 professional baseball games.
Julie says many people here in Michigan are rooting for the Detroit Rams.
Detroit Rams.
Since Matthew Stafford played for the woeful Detroit Lions for years, and that's as close as we can get to the Super Bowl. Aww.
Oh, I tell you.
Oh, Lisa, thank you.
Thank you. That's much appreciated.
Watch you from the ball game.
Oh, yeah, we got...
oh, no, Amy says, I just looked out the door and saw got 3 inches of snow. No!
That means you pretty much doubled what we had. I was able to sweep it out pretty easily, and I'm glad for no extra, but it looks like you got the extra. Sorry. That's a drag.
They're saying, I love with the couple that do the Kitten Academy YouTube channel. Oh.
That's fun.
How could he not like the Kitten Academy? I don't even know what it is, and it sounds good.
It's kind of what YouTube was built for years.
Cat videos.
Cat videos. So there's the thing.
Cat videos,
contemporarily,
and baby videos.
There's a lot more going on YouTube, including this broadcast. So heck.
No.
But generally speaking, people use the venue for various and sundry things. There was a mention of concerts.
Oh, I know, Amy.
Haven't seen too many
I'm so stressed about Ohana tickets.
Haven't seen too many full concerts up on YouTube, but there's great stuff. There's a B-52s from around 1980, fall of 1980. That is, I think, in New Jersey. That you want to look up. I think it's black and white, and that performance is spot on. That's right after the second album comes out. That's worth your time. I'm a fan, we like them. So that's one thing. And then there's all sorts of great stuff. And big labels will put up whole shows because it's promo. So it's like MTV, but 40 years later. So I'm thinking, what else is up on there? Oh, instructional videos. I watch a lot of instructional stuff. How to fix the washing machine. Yeah, that'll tell you how to do it. And there's one.
Do you watch that for entertainment or just when you need to fix the washing machine?
I don't find it entertaining to fix the washing machine. I find it necessary. So that is strictly informational to me. I watch a lot of videos about fixing guitar amplifiers for entertainment purposes. And but that's practical too because I fix similar things. So.
Oh, that sounds great, Eric. Kitten Academy.
Oh, okay.
Aw.
Cat trees.
Well, that sounds fun.
That's all part of the fun, folks.
I'd watch that. Oh, it's a sunny spring day in Boise.
I'm glad to hear that.
It snowed here.
We are still socked in winter. We had some days in the 50s over the weekend, which was pretty glorious. Did some laundry, hung it on the line. That was good.
And it didn't freeze.
It sounds exciting to do laundry, but I'm like, when you can actually do it in the middle of winter and just hang it out and just forget about it and everything dries nicely, that was kind of great. Had some time to go out there and grill. It's good stuff. So I appreciate that. And then, of course, immediately there afterwards, it got icy again and started snowing, and we got that. But
well, yeah.
Not much this time.
Hi, Keith.
Not much this time. We're already into the middle of February, and things will move on apace. And I don't doubt that we will see days in more like the 40s and 50s to come, and that's okay for spring. So,
all right, we got to check out Kitten Academy.
Okay, so I hear that.
It sounds great.
Definitely. So our third round here, of course, is yet more bubbles.
Third round. This is like our fifth round.
Our fifth round? I don't remember. So anyway, so there are more bubbles. This says we have graduated to the Kir Royale. You can put a lot of things in a Kir Royale, but if you want to be going by original formula, then you're going with the Crème de Cassis. And maybe about a finger, a little less if you like it less sweet, a little more if you like it sweeter. And I would fill that with a Brut. Something like a dry bubbly is a really good place to be. I don't really need sweet bubbles on top of that. And this works very well. You can always make this as a Kir by using white wine, and then it is a still product, and that's a good idea too. So, also had the champagne cocktail, a classic. Got to have sugar cubes. Had a mimosa. Yeah, that's good. And actually, we started with another one of these, didn't we? With the cherry. Okay, so this is round 4. Yep. Always one of those things. Still have some of these pretzels over here. A little substance. Always good. Agreed, Miss Satellite.
Satellite's trying to plan a trip to Disneyland in about 3 weeks. Oh, I'm jealous. I want to go. I'll say envious. I'm envious.
I'm not jealous. I'm not trying to take away your trip. You should have your trip, and I think it should be excellent. That's what I think.
Well, they're going to their forever home. I love that.
Oh, that's a fun idea. That's a fun idea. We, of course, have a standing recommendation on Disneyland. Not World, because you can't do this at World. But that is, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, the Matterhorn. This is potentially my favorite ride at Disney ever. And you got to be at Disneyland because World does not have a Matterhorn. However, World has something called Space Mountain, which as far as I can tell is the exact same ride in the dark.
Well, Space Mountain's in the dark at
Disneyland as well. They basically recreated the ride 20 years later, and suddenly there's Space Mountain. But the original Matterhorn from '59, great ride. The thing is that it's very popular. You go to Disneyland, and there's always a huge line around the whole mountain trying to get up there. Well, guess what? Here's a smart thing. You're an adult. Do the whole park. Do all the speed passes you can. Stay as long as you can. Stay the whole bloody day. The thing closes at midnight. Now, before it closes at midnight, hie thee around 10:30 or so over to Trader Sam's and kill a little time having a couple rounds. Then hop the monorail and go back and then get on the Matterhorn. By then, the line is shorter and you've had a few rounds in you, so it's fantastic.
Mr. Rogers' mom turns 80 and that's what she wants to do. I love that.
Oh, wow.
That sounds like a great way to spend a birthday.
Well, okay then.
I've spent a birthday or two at Disneyland.
I have not. Although I think I was close, actually. Now, normally we were in California in June because of that convention. Yeah.
VidCon.
VidCon. But we were in San Diego around my birthday.
Yep.
Because of that convention.
Yep.
So, okay. I'm just counting up the conventions here, folks.
So many conventions.
Yeah, the thing to be careful about is when people are like, "It's your birthday," and start buying you drinks. Remember to count the drinks.
Here also says, recalling permutations and combinations and statistics. It's amazing the combinations of drinks one could have. And yet we keep making the same ones over and over.
We're making variations on the theme. A little sweet stuff inside a glass of bubbles is a classic. Notice that the use of bitters, liberal use of bitters. Good idea.
Mm.
And the champagne cocktail, that prevents it from being too sweet. In this drink, it just adds a little dimension. That's a good thing. Ikea is a good thing. It's designed to be a little sweet, but not really, really heavy syrupy. And if you're saying to yourself, yeah, well, I like it kind of sweet, yeah, a little more of the cassis. It's a good idea. There's some really nice cassis on the market these days that you can find. And we're out of it, so I guess I got to hie me to one of those liquor stores and find a nice bottle of cassis.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How many times do we have to go to the liquor store?
How many times are there available to go to the liquor store? I tell you, you can spend an outrageous amount of money stocking up, and then you run out of one thing.
The Pirates closes on the day of her birthday. So, yeah, you got to go before that because, yeah, you got to go on the Pirates.
Yeah.
It's good that you know ahead of time.
It is good to know about that. The last time that we were at Land, Disney, we actually did ride the Pirates.
What's L?
And it was in the middle of the summer. It was bloody hot outside, hot and dry. Wow. And we actually ride this ride, and of course, and suddenly it's kind of breaking down right before we're about to like elevate and go back to where the restaurant is. And we're just sitting there for a long time. I think about 45 minutes we were waiting for things to happen.
Really?
You start to think to yourself, this place doesn't flood, does it? Because there's stairs right there.
I don't remember it being that long.
But we were at the bottom of that whole like incline, and it was really cool because of all the flowing water. So I was like, well, I'm okay with this right now. And then
Are you sure it was that long?
Exited there. We get out into the blasting heat, and who do we see? Wandering the park playing guitar, King Kukulele. And he looks at us because he recognizes it by now. He says like, I'm about to pass out. I'm like, yeah, we need to get this man a liter of water stat.
Because you're wearing like long sleeves and your whole
He's in costume and like, is that wool? Are you insane?
Yeah.
So we hung with Kukulele for a second and sang a few songs. That was kind of great.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I want to go to Disneyland.
Yeah, I'd go back. I've been to Disneyland more than World now by a long shot. And I got to tell you, it's a fun park.
I've only been to Disney World once, and I was about 4.
Same here, except I was closer to 10 at the time. Yes.
I'm so envious of people who just have season passes to Disneyland. Like, they just go all the time.
Because, you're there. You get the pass.
It's just like, I've had a bad day. I think I'll go to Disneyland. And, like, I'll go for an hour because they have
got a season pass. You can go in there and, ride the teacups. You can go in there and hit Trader Sam's. And
although if you've had a bad day, I'm not sure the spin and barf is
the way to
right
go.
to do. But you know what I mean. You know?
Teacups before Trader Sam's, just saying that's the order. Among my favorites is their...
Eric wants to go UFO hunting.
Ah, boy.
Well, let us know how that goes.
Big fun. What is their Adirondack Resort? That's a Disney... The hotel. It's got all the Adirondack.
Oh, Disney California Adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got a really fun bar. Now, that's a great place
nice bar.
to get in Manhattan. Like, real...
That has a craft cocktail bar.
Clubby chairs, woody paneling, like real wood.
Yeah.
And you say, oh, I'd like a rye Manhattan. They'll bring you a rye Manhattan.
It's like, what do you call it? Like Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah, which is craftsman.
Arts and crafts. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That
I don't know. But you know what I mean.
Very much that vein, circa 1910, Americana, Adirondacks. There we go. A little woodsy, a little clubby.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite
It's a nice place to go have a number of drinks if you're staying within walking distance.
Agreed.
That way.
Yeah. Make sure you line the stomach with a little food, too.
Yeah.
And a great place to sit there and reminisce. It's a very adventurous club, to my mind.
Oh, yeah.
You know? There's no stuffed heads on the wall. That's probably outside of the bounds of taste.
No, that would be Clifton's.
You can talk about actually traveling around and your adventures in the world. And when we were in the darkest jungles of Peru, kind of thing. There you go. I don't know if Peru has jungles. I think it actually has mountains. So
definitely has mountains.
It definitely has mountains, folks. You mean the jungles of the Amazon?
I don't know, the way you said that just made me think of, we recently rewatched for my screenwriting class, because it was required viewing, Jurassic Park, which I hadn't seen since it came out. I hadn't seen it since it was in the theater. And they did actually have a reason for assigning it, because it's a very sort of by the books screenplay. So if you want to point out this and that aspect of a screenplay, it's a good one to assign because it's very by the books. But you made me think of that with sort of the Adventurers Club and I'm going to go visit this place with these dinosaurs. It's very strange, yeah.
This always reminds me, Adventurers Club and Trader Vic's, and also always reminds me of Colonel McBragg from the Rocky and Bullwinkle show, which is great. There you are in the club atmosphere, and the Colonel's going to tell you about his adventures, and his sidekick's like, oh, yes, well, okay, and here we go again, more boring stories about the Colonel and his fictitious adventures around the world.
Bragg.
So there you go. It's kind of great. It's very inspirational, and of course, this was a real takeoff of that style of thing. And mid-century, you had such adventures from the Adventurers Club as the Kon-Tiki expedition, which itself was kind of fun. There's a good there's a good documentary, and then there's a good biopic made of that several years later.
Yes,
recommend both of those.
Yeah,
you can see the actual footage they shot while sailing around towards Tahiti, and then you can see the biopic about what happened.
Yep. I did enjoy both of those.
The simple fact is, when I think of these tropical bars, I don't think of escapism as much as I think of a sense of adventure. I think of Adventurers Club. Big overstuffed chairs, 2 fingers of scotch. Let's tell you about what happened in the Amazon. Oh, yes.
Let's make up stories about what happened in the Amazon.
When I was half-eaten by an anaconda, boom, boom, boom.
I don't know. You seem fully whole here.
So. I had my knife, so I was able to cut my way out.
Uh-huh.
And then we dined on reptile. Mm-hmm. So, and there we go. Well, that's a lot of reptile. You could kind of dine on that.
Sure you did. Sure you did.
It's the fun part of the fun part, folks. Do you have a glass of bubbles in your hand right now? I will say, gee, I don't.
Well,
I guess I got a refill.
Fix it, Wicked Witch of the West.
Well, fix it if you will. I'm trying to think of the next bubbly drink that I could make.
You want a French 75, don't you?
I wasn't thinking of that, but now that you mention it. Well, the real question and the next question, which is the next logical question and the one that the bartender should ask you if you ask for one of these is, anybody? Gin or brandy?
Oh, yeah. Well.
Yeah. The original is most likely gin. It's a gin drink, but brandy works very well, and I think I will go with brandy. Also, we have more brandy than gin right now. So.
Didn't you just buy gin?
I'm looking at the diminishing returns on the gin.
Wow.
Frankly, there's diminishing returns on the brandy, but there's more of it.
Oh, Errol says, seen Jurassic Park only about 200 times. The kids loved it, so watched it over and over. Told them that it wasn't going to change. I know. You know, sometimes when you watch a movie that you've seen a lot of times, and you're like, oh, God, I'm getting stressed about the ending. It's like, yeah, it's not going to change.
Not going to happen.
I love that, though. You know, I look at movies like that. Oh, wait. There's a hole in my wine glass. Dear Liza. There's a hole in my wine glass.
There's a hole.
Exactly. There's a hole in his wine glass. Mine is more of a crack. No, but that's the mark of a good movie. Like, you want to see it again and again. And it's like, oh, you get anxious. Like, it's not going to change. It's a movie. I also tell myself when it's a movie I haven't seen, but it's like a classic Hollywood type picture, I'm like, they're not going to let the hero die.
Probably.
Now they would. Contemporarily they would. But back in the day, they're not going to let the hero die. And especially like Poseidon Adventure. They're not going to let the kids die. Like, everyone who's young survives Poseidon Adventure.
Except for the young.
Sorry if that's a spoiler alert.
Except for the young person, Roddy McDowell, who does not. But he wasn't that young.
Well, he's not that young.
You're not that young, so there you go.
Everyone under the age of 21, I think, survives in the Poseidon Adventure. Because I'm not going to let kids die, because it's classic Hollywood.
So what did I just do? For all of you who are not familiar with the 75 from many episodes of watching this show, that was about an ounce of base liquor, a little bit of citrus, and then fill with the bubbles, some bitters, and a twist.
Julie says, there are a lot of movies that would have been a whole lot shorter if they'd had cell phones, right? Titanic, for instance. Exactly.
I tell you, the actual Titanic itself had wireless, and it didn't help. But that's because of the protocol of wireless in 1912, which changed dramatically after that disaster. So sometimes some people have to expire for regulations to change, and that's an unfortunate fact of life.
Eric says, like I said, I know the movie All the President's Men verbatim. Well, have you seen Dick?
You got to see Dick now.
If you haven't seen Dick, you got to see Dick.
Because Dick is like the comedy version of All the President's Men.
Exactly.
President's Men, of course, is compelling because it's true life. It's true history. Now, what do you need?
I'm thinking about it.
75 it. Don't criticize it.
All right.
Fair enough. What is your choice?
Our family Zoom is going to be hilarious.
What is your choice for base liquor? You can do both.
Together?
No. One or the other. Take your pick. Brandy or gin?
Brandy.
Brandy, come your way.
I usually always go for gin, so I'm going for brandy.
What the heck? All right. I'm going to actually clean your glass off because there's a little bit of citrus sediment.
I haven't seen Titanic the monster hit version in a really, really long time. I should watch that again. Leo DiCaprio is in Don't Look Up. For you people who are fans. I'm enjoying the movie talk. We don't often, never mind. Scratch that. I'm enjoying the movie talk. And the TV talk, because I like getting ideas. Because right now it's all about awards contenders, but I have to vote by the 25th. And then I'm released to watch whatever I want again. Eric says, I heard that if Indiana Jones didn't exist, the things would still happen the way they did with the Ark without him. Okay. I love it.
The Lost Ark of the Covenant.
Yes.
As a final piece of mythology, probably second only to the Holy Grail. Which, of course, has its own hilarious picture. via Python, Monty Pictures.
Python, Marty.
Didn't we see that?
Woods, L.
Didn't we see that a couple years ago at the drive-in?
Yep.
Yeah, that was kind of great.
Oh my gosh, that was such a good double feature.
That was double feature with Airplane.
Yes.
Interesting, but true.
And to see it at the drive-in was amazing.
Kind of great.
Yep.
So.
Did you see that?
Sometimes I use bottled.
He used bottled lime juice.
It's a quality lime juice.
I used bottled lime juice in my 75. I'm just saying.
Okay. Going on our third hour here. I gotta save some time.
Oh no. Julie says, I remember when I went to see Titanic at the movie theater and made the mistake of getting the mega large beverage. I hear movies are like 3 hours and I get really stressed. I'm not going to lie. There was some movie, it was No Time to Die.
It's pretty long.
We were going to watch it the other day and I looked at it and it came in at like almost 3 hours and I got really stressed.
Not that night anyway.
I'm like, I'm not watching this tonight. But yeah, it's like, why does this editor?
Yeah.
You haven't heard of editing?
Shop it back, will you?
Oh, see you later, Amy. Thanks for dropping by. Yay.
Thanks so much. 75.
Thank you.
Don't criticize.
They actually built us. Oh. Eric said, wait, I saw an interesting live outdoor performance of the story from a German troupe called Theater Titanic. Oh, my God. Wow.
Oh, hilarious.
She built a ship and destroyed it in this performance. Wow, I'm sorry I missed that.
Well, we have by now seen the 90s Titanic picture, Cameron, which used, I think it was like a 2/3 size model of it in this massive water tank for those scenes. This is Cameron, who does not do anything small.
He did use a fresh twist, so it smells
good. It's a fresh twist, absolutely. And we also saw Titanic on Broadway, which...
Oh, yeah.
Was actually well done and had a really good run.
It was
had
well
some really pretty effects and some really great numbers. So I got to say, I recall that fondly. Worth listening to if you want to hear a score. And if anybody doesn't know the production of it...
If you don't want to hear a score...
Then don't listen to it.
It was good. It's a strange thing to do a musical about, but now they'll do a musical about anything.
Anything can happen. The simple fact is, like, large, momentous events, are probably a good basis for a musical these days. Or those days. So.
We've got Connie Stevens
on
Love Boat,
on the Love Boat,
having a heavily garnished drink.
That is a heavily garnished drink. Wow, that is pretty tropical.
It only appeared in Pittsburgh during the Festival of Furs. Huh.
Oh.
Okay.
Laurie Anderson.
Oh.
Well, that's fun.
All right.
Oh, pardon me.
Love Laurie Anderson.
Oh, she's fun.
Coming back?
Yeah.
He said disappearing. Now I feel like watching a movie tonight that has nothing to do with awards season. Well, I've got to finish The White Lotus because it's so sick and weird. I got one episode left. I gotta get it done. Gotta get it done. What do you feel like watching tonight? Oh, see, he's talking about watching Bond. I don't know, is a 3-hour movie a good idea tonight after 2 bottles of bubbles? Oh, Gettysburg Mam's in the mood for a good movie, too. I'm always in the mood to put on Legally Blonde because, like I said earlier, Elle Woods is my spirit animal, but I don't know, we've got a ton of great movies over there. I was thinking lately of watching The Right Stuff. I haven't seen that for a couple of years. What else is over there that I was thinking? We haven't seen that in a while. Oh, hi, Roman. Good to see you here. Oh my gosh, I was in the Titanic musical in a church basement once 10 years ago. I love it. Wow. That's amazing. After the Super Bowl, maybe we'll snuggle up with a good flick. I love it. Oh, Pretty in Pink. That's a good one.
Did somebody say Pretty in Pink?
Yes.
Speaking of Ducky, if we're talking about this type of picture.
I love it. Did you see Roman says I was in the Titanic musical in a church basement once 10 years ago. I love it.
Hilarious.
I love it.
Did not realize.
Pretty in Pink is a good one.
Did not realize your musical roots, my friend. We had a good conversation with Roman in Atlanta not too long ago. And talking about various and sundry subjects, but you can only do too much for a few hours in the pool. I tell you.
Think about that statement for a minute.
Actually, it was great to be in a pool in January. Because right now, if we were outside in either of our states, we'd go, oh, you know, slightly bracing. It's fantastic. But Titanic, you know, it's a fun score. I forget the composer. Completely out of my head. Yeah. At one point I knew
the Broadway musical?
Moriarty? I could be wrong. Yeah, Broadway. Broadway Titanic.
Hold on.
We had actually sort of casually discussed a musical Titanic for years, and then suddenly it became a reality, and we said, oh, well, we've been scooped by people with larger bank accounts. Maury Yeston.
Jonathan Tunick, you are
He's
correct.
pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty good, kids. Hello.
Yep.
1997.
Okay.
It was well done at the time. I think I recall managing to see it twice for some reason.
Gettysburg Ma'am says, I love the 80s fashion and Pretty in Pink. Takes me back to school days. It always makes me think of me like, I need a new dress. I know. I'll take this dress apart. Yep, Maury Yeston. Yep.
Thank you, sir. It's amazing that I actually know that because I'm not that well versed in his entire catalog, but that just stuck in my craw.
I'm like 1 degree of separation from Jonathan Tunick. But I've never met him. So.
Yeah. Still separated. So
yeah, we are still 1 degree of separation.
Still 1 degree separated. But definitely. I'm trying to think of like what else fits into that vein or what else we're talking about for classics. Were you talking about like across the board movies or things that are award contenders or what?
We were just talking about comfort movies.
What were you thinking?
Well, oh, gets the audience to cry. Yes.
Well, it really does. I'm thinking of that song with the Strausses. That song with the Strausses. Yeah, that'll make it cry. And the simple fact is that they decided, well, we're just going to stick with the ship and go down. Well, yeah. There was very poor preparation on that actual vessel.
Gettysburg Ma'am says I'm 1 degree of separation from Carol Burnett. She's my idol.
Oh, hello.
Wow, she's my idol.
For more than one reason.
Yes.
I mean, I watched the show as a kid.
It's a major award. Oh.
Some kind of brilliant.
Oh, Errol says I love the leg lamp. It's not on. I feel like it should be on.
Shouldn't it? You know? This was the easiest available stopper, so I said, I'm using the leg lamp.
No, he means the leg lamp.
Oh, leg lamp itself.
It's not on.
This also has a leg lamp.
The cork is a leg lamp.
The cork is a leg lamp. Yeah. Leg lamp is not on yet, but give me an hour or so, and there we go. Going to get dark.
Wow, you've met Carol Burnett. I'm impressed.
That's amazing. I've met a few people in my life of that stature, but
what was I going to say?
I haven't met her.
Oh,
that would be
here's what I was going to say about Titanic. You know, there's also a Poseidon Adventure musical.
Oh, yeah. Simply called Poseidon, if I'm not mistaken.
It's called Poseidon, an upside down musical. We haven't seen it.
But we saw the special about Poseidon, the movie.
There's a documentary about obsessed fans of Poseidon Adventure.
If you didn't know that was a thing, well, of course it is.
It is.
And it's hilarious. And the fact is that somebody decided, well, all of this fandom must lead inevitably to the stage and music. And suddenly there's a musical called Poseidon, the Upside Down musical. And the
I want to be in it.
Topics are hilarious.
Well, they take all the songs directly from the dialogue of the movie.
Yeah. There's a song called Shove It. There's a
exactly.
There's a song. There's a song from the doctor talking to the other doctor about going to the bow of the ship. It's hilarious. You can look this up and you'd laugh and laugh.
Well, Gettysburg Map, I'm impressed. Like, yeah, wow. I love it.
Oh, wow.
I would love to meet Carol.
That's fantastic. Well, kind of a small world in performing, and if we were to ask around, we'd find that we're not too far from certain people too. But that's really cool. It's really fun to actually find like people who are very close to you like that. Ah!
He says, I'm more in tune with Tim Conway. Oh, you were talking about the cork. Okay, Errol was talking about the cork.
He was. Okay.
Hello, Hans. Good to see you.
Well, I'm glad you spotted the cork because that should be sticking out a little bit now.
Oh, Hans says, I love how your outfits match the couch and the walls.
And blending in is camouflage.
I know.
That kind of thing. This is kind of a camouflage pattern, actually. Yeah. Pretty hilarious. And it coordinates with this really well, which is amazing. They have nothing to do with each other.
I'm taking this to Ohana if I can get tickets.
These collars really, really work. Did you reconstruct this from a larger garment?
No. This is. I won this in the silent auction at Ohana.
Oh, marvelous!
I'm gonna take it to Ohana if I get tickets.
Because I know you've taken garments that are similar.
Oh, Jean was a wonderful lady as well.
Oh, yeah.
That.
Yeah, I believe that. I think I've heard that and I believe that. Because you have taken garments.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Roman says, that's amazing. I know there's one called Disaster that uses disco songs. It is a send-up of Poseidon Adventure. It's so send-upable. I don't know what the word is, but Poseidon Adventure is very send-upable. We were just quoting it this morning, actually.
I believe that is the term, send-upable.
Send-upable.
Pardon. I'm thinking of the fact that you have actually found garments sometimes where you try it on and you say, not going to happen. Well,
I buy these long skirts, these long, full vintage skirts, and they're so unflattering. Yeah. So I take them apart and turn them into dresses.
Sometimes you take this thing that's kind of moo-moo-esque and you say, not going to happen, but it will make a great A-line, and what do you know, chop it up and away you go. All the purists would actually go, oh no, but the fact is, your garment has to be flattering. And you find some fantastic patterns in these vintage. And you go, wow, that material. You're not finding the material anymore.
Well, so here's the thing about some patterns. Like I have a pattern. And if you look at the drawing on the cover of the pattern, I could make that. Wow, that would be so amazing. Like a vintage pattern. But then you make it and it's not nearly as flattering as it was on the model. On the cover of the pattern.
No. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. You're like, wow, I look like a dump truck. And she looks like a supermodel. And you followed the pattern. So, yeah, anyway.
Yeah. That could happen.
Oh.
That happens with men's fashion as well. But I think it's more particular with ladies' fashion because of the wide variety of sizes that you might.
Oh, Eric, I love it about Tim Conway.
Vaguely described.
Oh. Tim Conway's amazing.
Oh, he's pretty hilarious.
Yes.
Really is. And you can see him on the 60s Carol Burnett show, like really early, and he's hilarious then. He just kind of develops it from there. Also featured on the Paul Lynde Halloween special. I wouldn't say that that's a stellar example of writing.
I'm not sure he was bragging about that, but he collected a paycheck.
But he's there anyway. So that's
I got paid, so I don't care.
And give us about 8 months, and we're going to be talking about that as well. So there you go.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, Gettysburg Ma'am. I bought some new patterns not long ago, and I went through looking at them the other day, and I thought, oh man, it looks like a lot of work. Because I need new dresses. And I'm like, ugh. Yeah. Yeah, that looks like a lot of work.
Well, you do frequently make...
And if I'm producing a film at the same time, I'm like, maybe I should just go on eBay and buy stuff.
Maybe you should make the same dress you've made or go on eBay, as you say. You got to have the capacity to do these things. You will make a standard A-line dress for yourself, which you can make in your sleep, and you'll make a standard shirt for me.
I can.
It's not this shirt. This
shirt. I feel like I do a better job on the shirts than the dresses, to be honest.
But the pattern that you found for me was a vintage '60s pattern with the vents and everything, and it's kind of a great pattern. And that is most of my shirts that she's made. It's really good. I like it a lot. In terms of being able to do that, you have to learn somehow. I can't do it. You've got that skill. I do other things around here. So, if you can't do it yourself, you can find a good seamstress. We know at least a few out there.
Although I feel like the good seamstresses are backed up for months.
Yeah, because not everybody can do this.
Yeah, and everyone wants a custom dress.
Oh, I know. It's like the knitting projects, you know. If you know a good knitter, it's like, oh, I get all this stuff made. But like, it's one thing to knit a scarf. It's another thing to knit a whole sweater. And if you have an intricate pattern and stuff like that, yeah, there's a whole thing going on.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. I have a crochet pattern. And I have never been able to teach myself to crochet. I have tried so many times, but it basically takes granny squares and shows you how to combine them into a dress. And the finished dress is so hideously awful that it's just like a work of art. So I want to do it.
Just because.
Maybe for Ohana, if I can get tickets. So, like, I don't know. Like, maybe I need to teach myself to make granny squares so I can make this ugly, ugly, ugly dress and wear it to Ohana. Because it's so ugly that it's a work of art.
You know, you have this whole stack of knitting books.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
In the front room right now.
Oh, yeah, no, I saved this one.
And those actually contain a lot of really mod-looking things, and I think you really need to learn how to do this to make all this stuff. But I see the rewards. I do.
Oh, no. Errol's on Facebook saying, have you noticed Lisa hasn't posted in a while? She fell asleep. Oh.
Sorry.
Been there. Lisa, when you wake up, been there.
I'm living that right now because
this Gettysburg Man was saying, do you use an older sewing machine? I have a more modern one.
Yeah.
I have the hell is my sewing machine?
I'm thinking Nordman, but that's it. That's the hi-fi.
No. It's a
Yep.
The hell's the brand?
It's a Lily. Is the actual model?
No, that's not. No, hold on.
Isn't it a Lily? I'm pretty sure it was. Okay.
I'm going to go get you the exact model number.
And there's a funny story about that, too.
All right. My dress is sticking to me because I've been sitting for hours.
Yep.
And all right. I'll be back.
The other funny story about that is that Christy's dance teacher, I think it is, who actually does costumes, will collect older machines because they're all made out of metal parts. And that a lot of contemporary machines have a lot of plastic parts.
It's a Viking Scandinavia 200.
That's a Scandinavia too. Okay.
I'm going to visit the power room.
Okay. Do. And I understand when we talk about machinery, like plastic shell is one thing. It's like cars. The outside of the car is one thing. But your engine has to be made out of aluminum or stainless steel, something like that. And with the sewing machines, the operative mechanism really should be stainless or carbon steel. If you have a lot of plastic parts, they'll wear out, and then you're kaput. And I happen to have a very nice Super 8 projector that was my machine for years. And one of the operative parts is nylon, and it wore out, and it's kind of shot, and there's no replacement. So that's kind of dead in the water. So much for plastics. The outside of the machine could be plastic. Who cares? That's not the deal. Same thing with sewing machines. If the actual internals are all like metallic parts, bronze, stainless, that sort of thing, they'll endure. That's a good idea. If the shell of it is plastic, whatever, that's fine. So that's just a complaint against a lot of contemporary machines that are made out of a lot of plastic parts, and you shouldn't have plastic parts if you expect the thing to last very long, and a lot of manufacturers do not expect things to last very long. What does that mean? You have a lot of appliances that are considered disposable. That's a dirty word. Everything should be fixable. You know, your coffee machine should be fixable. Your washing machine should be fixable. Today they're not, and that just means a lot of junk out there.
What's a lot of junk?
I'm talking about a lot of contemporary devices. Blenders, sewing machines, washing machines, dishwashers, all sort of things. They're all made to be disposable. And I think you're going to throw out like a 200-pound machine because it's junk.
Oh,
you should be able to fix that for 40 years. And then finally it's tanked. So, yeah, like those old Singers are really monstrous machines. I've even seen old Brother machines that are just all real heavy, all steel. Yeah. They do go for money because they're good machines.
Oh, VCR, yeah.
Oh, video cassette machines.
Mm-hmm.
You know, circa 1981, those things were massive and made up a ton of parts. And then later on, it's just all really cheap and plastic and it's junk.
But I feel like now, if you don't have a VCR, which I don't think we currently do.
We do.
Well, it's not hooked up, is it?
It is.
Is it really?
Yeah.
If you don't have one, you can't watch the things that haven't been released on DVD or whatever, because they were releasing everything back when they were doing VCR. Yeah.
Video cassette machines, you had a lot of material. A lot of stuff was released on beta. Well, that's going back.
Oh no, beta.
Beta.
Does anyone remember that on The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Oh no, beta.
Hilarious reference. That's like finding an 8-track player in your car, you know?
If I woke up and found an 8-track player in my car, I would be very surprised.
I would not be more surprised.
Oh, Hans is asking, I did not make this shirt. I found this at the Salvation Army, but
Salvation fine.
But I do make a lot of shirts from a vintage pattern for him.
But if she'd found about 3.5 yards of this fabric, she could have made the shirt. So there we go.
Oh, okay. Wait, this is for you.
Oh.
Errol says, took polymer engineering, but usually specifies stainless. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you want durable parts, you need something that's tougher. When we start talking about like carbon composites, that's got some promise. They're very tough. But for machinery, you're thinking stainless carbon steel. If you want to make good pasta, apparently bronze dyes. You need bronze.
Kitty's remember saying, just like the first home video cameras where you had to carry them on your shoulder. You put an actual tape. Yes. You put an actual tape in the camera.
I had a friend
I do remember that.
I had a friend whose mother worked for the local community college. And at one point, he actually turned up an archival piece from their archives, which was a Sony Portapak video machine from 1971. It was about this big, and it took 4-inch reels of tape. You fed the reel through, and this was record only. You couldn't play back on the same machine. Hilarious. This had a huge battery pack, rechargeable, and you would like wear that on your shoulder, and you had like a different camera that hooked into this thing.
Was this Eric?
That was it. Yep. So that was the Sony Portapak, circa 1971. And there's a good episode of Hawaii Five-0 where they use one of these things to defraud a whole like bank job. I have to figure that out because it's hilarious. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're using that Sony Portapak. That was video back in the day.
Kitty's Romeo says, you couldn't hold the camera long enough to record anything because it hurt like hell sitting on your shoulder.
Sounds like our first video camera, which
our first video camera was kind of heavy.
Massive thing, and it took the tiny little DV tapes. Hello. But it was a good machine. Good machine. That's the march of technology right there.
Errol says, we still have a tractor built in 1967. Still runs great.
Oh, yeah.
My brother-in-law said 50 years from now, that tractor will still be running, but there won't be any 50-year-old tractors. Yeah.
I like to say that as far as the audio system goes, how many DVD players have we been through in 25 years? And that number is probably about 8. How many turntables have we been through? And that number is 1.
Hans, yes. Yes, I was thinking about that the other day, actually, of going to the store and renting a video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Sure.
That was when I first moved to New York. There was a store, like, really a block from where I lived. And, like,
really good selection.
I didn't have cable. I did have a TV, and I did have a VCR. And I was like, oh, my God, what am I going to do? Because I didn't have any videos. But there was a store a block from my house called Hole in the Wall Video. And this place was a hole in the wall.
It was.
This room that we're in, this Not even beyond this barrier. This room is at least a third larger than this store. But it was great. You remember Hole in the Wall Video, right? Yeah, they curated great videos, and
they really had good stuff.
But I do remember going to Hole in the Wall Video, and I remember getting my card, which they laminated.
Mm-hmm. Those were the days.
Oh, wait. Gettysburg Ma'am says my grandfather had the old reel camera with film. He shot video on a lot. Oh, you have so many home movies. That's great.
So you're talking about like a 16 millimeter or 8 millimeter? Yeah, those are fun. I started out on an 8 millimeter, regular 8, and then we graduated to Super 8. And we do have a 16 millimeter camera in this house. And if the film wasn't so dang expensive, I would shoot more on it. It's a really nice Bolex.
Where is it?
It's in the display case over there.
That's a video camera?
Yeah. No, it's a film camera.
No, but I mean, I thought it was just a still camera.
No, we have two cameras. We have my dad's still camera, and we have a motion picture camera that I got back in the day.
My filmmaker's wheels are turning. Like, we have an old school film camera that we can shoot.
We have a
school film.
Brilliant 16 mil camera that I would put some more film through it, except that it's really expensive. So I need to get some bucks and then buy some motion picture film from Kodak.
Hans, I know what you mean. Like, sometimes he'll bring up a video that we haven't played in, I don't know, 25 years, and he'll put it on. I'll be like, oh. I'm thinking of that Devo one you have.
Oh, yeah. There's one called We're All Devo.
Yeah.
Which was, I think it was the first music video album to be released on the market on VHS.
Yes, yes.
Probably VHS and Beta back in the day. And that is just a collection of Devo videos. It's brilliant. It's just amazing. They pioneered this whole stuff. And they figured out early enough, put this out on a video cassette and people will buy it. So that was innovative. This was back in the days when a video cassette machine weighed 40 pounds and cost you $600. So I remember one family back in the day that actually had a video machine. It was massive. And I don't think I remember seeing anything on it, but I remember that. And they also had a microwave oven. Wow, a microwave oven. Yeah.
I was telling my hairdresser the other day, I remember back when we were kids, my friend, who I won't name in case she shows up and watches this later, her family had Select TV. Does anyone remember Select TV?
Pretty select it was.
So this is like back before any of us had cable or anything, but they had money, so they had Select TV. And how her parents, like, they weren't paying any attention. They were not negligent parents by any stretch, but like they weren't paying any attention. Well, so like we would just watch the most inappropriate things for kids on Select TV because
Select TV was available there.
No one was watching. So.
All the young men were doing it at the time too. The thing is that she was a later child, so they had already had.
She was, I think she was a late life oops, but I'm sorry if she's watching now.
Yep, but the simple fact is,
had a few drinks.
Simple fact.
Your parents loved you.
The parents were paying a little less attention. And,
they did love her. They were amazing.
And the fact is, at the time, she probably really appreciated the fact that her parents were paying a little less attention.
I know.
So
her parents were amazing.
Her parents were great
and they
folks.
were paying attention. So.
They were fantastic folks.
She came out fine.
Hey. Oh, she's doing great.
She came out fine.
She's doing just great.
We have now been live for over 3 hours.
And we're talking about like ancient video formats.
Playboy Network.
Oh.
Oh wait, Julie says, my great grandmother used to take road trips from the passenger seat of the car. Oh my gosh! It was hilarious because her husband refused to stop, so everything went by really, really quickly. I love that. Oh.
If you happen to still own the actual motion picture film, keep it. And if you would like that transferred, let's talk.
I just remember
ways to do that.
I just remember one of the movies, and I Disney for the Win says, name of my next band, Late Life Oops. Oh no, I try not to crack myself up, but I crack my Late Life Oops. I hope she's not watching. Sorry.
You know, even if so, she was loved. She was loved.
Oh, she was loved.
I know a number of families
where
there's all these like much older siblings, and then like children who are my age, and I think, yeah, there's a big gap there, and that's kind of interesting. And it's just like things happen. That's life. Boom, boom, boom.
No.
But then sometimes there's like my age and then 2 years younger, so there's like more to come, and things happen. Yeah. Hilarious. But like, you know, the memories of massive appliances are like, this is a video device. Yeah, that was the day. It was this huge thing. The first video machine that you know, I had around the house, I kind of inherited from doing an install in somebody's place, and it was a 1980 beta machine.
All right, I'm gonna pull
this thing weighed 40 pounds if it was a day.
Wait, life, oops.
You were still able to get beta tapes in the day, so I remember buying a bunch and recording a bunch, and we still have a couple in the attic.
I love that you're still talking.
Yeah, of course I'm still talking. We still have a couple in the attic, and I need to find a beta machine to transfer these things because they got some pretty cool stuff. So. Yeah.
I just remember, it's like, we've already gone there.
Been there, done that.
We've already gone there. So I'm just going to say that, like, I just remember one of the films I remember watching at her house was, I can't stop laughing.
I know what you're going to say.
I just remember one of the movies we watched here. Oh, because he knows. But
yeah.
I just remember one of the movies. One day we're just like sitting there watching on a random Saturday afternoon. It was Goodbye, Emmanuel. And I just remember the theme song, like, goodbye, Emmanuel, Emmanuel, Emmanuel. Like, I remember that better than the movie.
The movie is so
just the theme was just your
basic
inane.
70s softcore porno that was marketed to, you know, perverts. And then it shows up on this, like, select TV, and you're like, oh, okay, we're going to watch this.
So, of course, like, we're watching it.
So many junky movies around at that time that looked like that.
It also says, my high school math teacher, by the way, an incredible guy, said, wait 2 years on electronic devices. Let somebody else pay for the engineering. Right? It doesn't pay to be an early adopter, does it?
That is not only true in home electronic devices, home appliances, but it's true in computing too. Like, let somebody else pioneer all that stuff, figure all the problems, figure out the interfaces, and then suddenly 2 years on, oh yeah, I'm going to start doing that. Boom. And that is the case with these things. It's slightly cannibalistic in the world of computing. And in the world of consumer devices, it's cutthroat. The simple fact is, standards come and go, but the one that wins probably just played the cards a little better.
Oh, 70s softcore porn. Found occasionally on a satellite dish, but usually full of squiggly lines and fuzz. Gettysburg, ma'am, I love it.
You know, back in the day, you would take a look at the back pages of radio electronics magazines and it would say, unscramble video, and you could buy a box that would take care of that for you.
Oh, jeez.
Did
it work?
Amount. Yes, it did.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Or you could build a box from the plans in radio electronics, which is hilarious.
Jeez, that sounds like work.
Now, this is extremely geeky, but I actually troll those pages and I find projects. I'm like, I can build that. You know, you got to buy all the parts and you got to figure out how to build it. That is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Is it time?
It might be time.
All right. I got to eat some food before the family Zoom. Oh, Gettysburg Ma'am says, yep, my grandfather called that box the Scrambler.
Technically, the D-Scrambler, but yes, he was right.
There you go. All right.
That's kind of fun.
Disney Phone says, yes, it did. Right. Paula's signaling me that it might be time.
Well, there's the fact. Folks, we have a little banner on our screen here, but that will lead you to our Patreon in case you would like to patronize us.
I was just going to toast you.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm trying to take my glass away.
I thought you might want a refill.
Well, I do.
I got more bubbles there.
I do.
There's another link that leads to our Amazon store if you're buying anything through Amazon, if you believe in such things. If you start at our store, even if we do not feature the product, we get a credit. So
just enter Amazon through our store. If you're going to do that. If you're not going to do that,
hey, Do you want to help this show?
God bless.
Start there and go. You do not have to buy anything from us. We do not get any premium above and beyond.
Thank you, Gettysburg ma'am.
There's no commission for us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the beautiful earrings. I love them. I meant to put them on today, and then
they're awesome.
I choked, but
yeah, that's life. You actually dropped your site on this page during our last live broadcast, and I would say anybody who's interested in custom, talk to ma'am because she can do it for you.
Talk to ma'am.
The earrings are really cool.
Yes.
They're very solid.
I love them.
They're a lot of fun. Definitely worth doing.
And everyone who joined us today, thank you so much. I've had such a great time. Yay.
Well, it's been a lot of fun time. I mean, the last thing about Amazon, like, look, if you're buying a very large dollar appliance and you want to start through our page, you're not going to pay any more, but we get a credit. So think on that. The link is right there. That would help us do what we do, so we can give you 3 hours of entertainment every week.
Lisa and Errol, everyone who's still here, thank you so much. We love you guys.
If your birthday is proximate to this, happy birthday.
Yes.
If it's not, happy Valentine's Day. Hello, everybody. I would say happy Groundhog Day, but that was days ago. I think the next thing is President's Day. That's not
Mardi
like a
Gras.
really big party day.
March 1st, apparently.
Mardi Gras is happening. We just got some Mardi Gras meals from our local Lions Club.
We did, but apparently it's
March
March 1st.
Yeah.
So.
But it's been awesome. Wow, 2 hours plus.
3 hours plus.
3 hours plus.
Thank you, Satellite.
Be still the heart.
Oh.
A lot happening. And we're so glad you can join us here on an average Sunday. For a few glasses of bubbles. I hope you had yours if you did not enjoy bubbles.
I'm going to have more after this.
Yeah. And
Gettysburg Ma'am's looking forward to St. Patty's. I have a dress for that.
We'll be there in no time at all.
I know.
Because time marches on.
Time goes marching on.
You never know.
And time is still marching on. Oh, thank you, Hans, and Errol, and Lisa, and Disney for the win, and Eric, everyone who showed up.
Marvelous.
This has been so much fun. I gotta eat some food.
Yeah, it's fantastic to be with you
eat some food at me.
On a Sunday. On an average Sunday. To be talking about these topics that we do. We do a lot of talk about music and movies. As usual, I think this is the salon where this happens.
Oh.
If anybody has any ideas, drop us to us.
I'm going to stay up right to Zoom.
Drop it to us.
I need to get some food in me.
Drop it to us in a PM is what I'm trying to say. Just send us messages. We'll figure it out. And if you have any ideas for the show, please let us know. We're so glad you could be with us here, and we'll continue to do this as long as we can, and as long as you're watching. And as always, we will see you soon.
Bye.
What's going on? Waiting on Claire. Or waiting. Where's your Claire? I'm waiting. It's not happening. It's not happening. Why are we not Claire?
No, I'm not. Hold on. No. I just got an unrelated message. Go turn off Mevo. That'll take care of it.
Or it would.
Do it. We're good. Go away.
Okay.
Do it. You gotta send me the. You gotta send me the.
Pics.
Who's it though? Yeah.